Hi. Sorry, you guys. I'm a little hoarse tonight. Even though I didn't talk that much today, it felt like I talked a lot. How's everybody doing? It's Friday. The weekend is here, and for us in America, it's a long weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Woot woot. It's also for all my Stranger Things fans, the full, I guess, part one. Volume 1, I think there is what they're calling it, of season 4 is now streaming on the Netflixes, and that is how I will be spending my weekend. Tonight I'm with you guys. Tomorrow night I'm with Dr. B, and in between I'm with Stranger Things. Let me say hi to y'all. Hey, Kez Chick. Hey, Anaphylaxis. Hey, Mark Klein. Hey, Rhodey Gal. There's me. Hi, Shmina. Hi, Amelia Sparkles. Hey, AJ. Hey, True Psych Word, Dr. B. Hey, Momo. Hey, Heather, whatever. Hey, Allie79. Hello, 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 Tony. Hello. I want to make sure I get everybody. I never like to miss anybody. Copacabana, good to see ya. I think I got all of my friends. Yep, got everybody. I think so. Yes. Hope so. If I missed you, it wasn't intentional. I'll probably see you say something and realize, and then I'll be like, if I didn't say hi again, I'm sorry. You know how I roll. It's been a long week, you guys. It's been a long week. And to that end, let me thank you, Anaphylaxis. You know what I want to do? I almost started to say, let me clear my throat. Let all the flies, I don't know if they say skimmies or shimmies, feel the beat. Drop. Okay, I'm going to do this a different way. I don't think I saved my own freaking video. Of course I didn't. Oh, also, I don't know how to share the tab anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm already a mess, you guys. I've been here for 2 minutes. 2. And I'm already a mess. So, good luck. So, kind of what I wanted to do tonight is this really is a night for y'all, not so much for me. I've given my commentary. You guys have heard me give my commentary. Like, I want to hear you guys' thoughts and hear what you guys have to say. Now, I will say this. I would really love nothing more than to be able to play both closing arguments. Okay. But the problem is I can't. And the reason that I can't is because playing the defense, they're not really the defense. Playing Amber Heard's team's closing arguments gets you a copyright claim because yeah, because of the cabinet footage. And thank you. Look, I'm going to give y'all some really good life advice right now. This is the thing that at 45 and looking back that I have learned, right? You should laugh at yourself at least once a day. Try for 5 times a day. Everyone should laugh at themselves because you got to see the humor in life because there's a ton of it. You know what I mean? Plus, I think there's science behind this, but sadness and anger and hostility and frowns give you wrinkles. Who the hell needs that? Right? Who needs that? I don't need it. Like, I don't care about being 45. I don't mind saying my age. I don't want to look 45. And I darn sure don't want to look older than 45 for sure, for sure. You know what I'm saying? You got to find the humor in life. It's funny. There's funny shit that happens even in messed up shit. You know, like look at this trial for example. I'm going to give you a prime example of how you find the humor in things. All right, I'm going to give you a prime example right now. I'm about to share my screen, and here is a very serious case, right, that has long range consequences, but here we find the humor. All right, here we go.
October is 2 months before December. That's correct. Isn't happy hour anytime? Asking me to come back and write pirates. Sorry. So I can read it out of someone's article, but not from the man's mouth. So, I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much. Yes, sir, that is a lot of marijuana. Looks like you could fit some cocaine. Cocaine is, in my experience, normally given in plastic bags. When you put it in a box like that, chances are very good you'll leave a trail of a long line of cocaine.
This was a document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
Thank you, AJ.
That's my signature indeed, yes.
Mr. Depp, that is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. Did I read that right?
You did, Mr.
Take
Rottenborn.
that down, Michelle. And that was a document you signed in August of 2016. Correct?
Is
Hi,
that the
Nonstop
same
Mom.
one that I signed 3 times before? Yes,
Yeah.
that's the fourth.
Well, I wanted to make clear that you
You
signed
made it
that.
clear.
A lot of chance to talk and trying to be respectful of the court's time and the jury's time. So I'm going to ask you that question again.
Oh, I totally forgot about Elaine's Easter egg green jacket.
$346 later.
Mr. Depp, with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When
you would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document,
you would agree.
Was that I thought that some human being had actually dropped a grumpy, pardon the term, onto the bed and saying that it was a dog. Were you there?
And then you write, I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, did you read that again?
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Did I read that right?
Yes, you
Did I read that right? Did I read that right?
did. You did, sir.
All right. I just want to play one more because I actually I just want to play this one part because I feel like we just need a tiny more little levity before um before we move on. All right, hold on. I know exactly where it is. Hold on. All right. Then I just want to play this one part and then we'll be done, and then I'm going to open up the panel for everybody because I want you guys to to get your thoughts out, because I think that's really what's needed at this time. All right. Are we ready? We could be more ready if I'd add it to the stream. All right, here we go. It's my favorite part of this whole video.
Essentially, in the court, if you're going to say that Ms. Hurd is right and Mr. Depp is wrong. Correct?
So, as a forensic psychologist, my obligation is to the court, as to the fact finder. I present science regardless of what that science may be.
You were, in fact, so excited about being involved in this case that you told your husband, even though this is a highly confidential matter, that you were going to be conducting an examination of Ms. Hurd, didn't you?
That is not accurate.
You not only told your husband, but you told Ms. Hurd.
Ms. Redhoff, that is not accurate.
What is accurate?
You're incorrect. That is not correct.
Is your testimony today under oath that you did not tell your husband that you were going to be conducting the examination of Amber?
That is my testimony.
So the question that was asked was because you brought muffins, you said, from your husband, right? You gave those to Ms. Hurd, correct?
May I clarify what occurred so that we can stop talking about the muffins? What happened was that I was getting ready that morning. I frequently bring muffins to the office. My husband did happen to know that there was going to be a celebrity client coming in, because on the mornings that occurs, which often occurs, we have to actually clear the office and move the staff to the other office. So yes, on the one hand, he was aware of that. I was getting ready. I asked him to go to the bakery near our house and pick up the muffins for me because I was running late. He often has to do that because I often do run late. He brought the muffins back to the house. I brought them into the office. Ms. Hurd and I enjoyed the muffins together. I think I made a comment to her along the lines like, we can thank my husband. My husband got these for us today, meaning he purchased the muffins. We are now enjoying them because of him.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. You're a monster. I'm not the monster here. You are. You and the rest of that fairy tale trash poisoning my perfect world. Now tell me, where are the others? I've tried to be fair to you creatures. Now my patience has reached its end. Tell me, or I'll...
And my buttons, not my gumdrop buttons.
All right then, who's hiding them?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man. Who lives on Drury Lane?
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
She's married to the Muffin Man.
Excellent.
All right, that's all I wanted to play. That's my favorite part. Do you know the Muffin Man? All right. You're a monster. So, when I was playing that first compilation about the throat comment, okay, so Mr. Rottenborn talked about that today in his closing arguments. And let me say why this was annoying to me. Because he put it, and I want to play it for you, but of course I can't because of the fact that he played the cabinet slamming video, and that earns the entire internet a copyright claim. And I am petty enough that I downloaded my own 6-hour video, and I will edit that part out of it, and I will put in a snarky clip replacing that footage. That's how petty I am. Because it's really public domain at this point. Nobody really owns it. It was broadcast on a streaming server while they were streaming a live court case, but whatever. I'm not going to write a copy. I'm not going to dispute it because it takes forever to go through. Anyway, so while he was talking about that specific text exchange between Mr. Depp and Miss Heard, he put the display of it up. I'm sorry, let me be accurate. The demonstrative. He put up a demonstrative showing the text exchange. Amber Heard is the one that referred to the throat, going for the throat. His comment text was in response. Hear me, please, Rottenborn. That was his response to Amber making the comment about going for the throat first. All right, that's all I wanted to say about that. Hey, Crackling Rosie True Crime, good to see you. All right. So, that's really all I kind of had to say about all of that. I'm just annoyed. The whole thing with his whole... I don't even like Elaine. Okay? Like, we all know that I don't even say her name with the correct inflection. I refer to her as Elaine. Okay? I don't care for her. Hey, DJ Mike Hunt, how you doing? I like that name. Especially reading it out loud. Makes it even funnier. Here's the StreamYard link. As soon as it's up, I'll pin it. You will have to turn camera on before I put you on the stream, because as you know, this is a Friday night and it's a high recliner detective and it's a long weekend. So that means that people have a lot of time on their hands, and unless you come in with some testimonial, I ain't want to see your picture. Okay? You know what kind of picture I'm talking. I don't need to see the southern states. Thank you so much. I have to pass. All right. Also, I'm married, so it's not going to do any good. You know what everybody does like? A parfait. I use that one, and you cut me real deep just then. So, and I have on occasion told my kids, in the morning, I'm making waffles. Anyway, but I thought Elaine was better today than she's ever been. And I actually think that she did she did better than Mr. Rottenborn in that she didn't pander to emotional manipulation. She did stick to what she sees as the facts, right? It's a matter of perspective, I suppose. And that's fine, right? Um, but she didn't pander to emotional manipulation. And I just was so grossed out by Rottenborn. I can't even have words. And yes, I will say that too. Elaine was on 1.5. She her was. Now, I don't know if she accidentally grabbed Amber's water with the purple stuff and that's what put a little pep in her step, but it was an improvement and I appreciated it. Okay, this is a good question. So, this is what I actually think, recliner detective. I think that it's very possible that what will end up happening is that the jury will interpret the instructions respective to abuse and therefore not they will find for Amber Heard on Johnny Depp's defamation lawsuit. But I think conversely, they will find for Johnny Depp in Amber Heard's counterclaim, thus actually making it what amounts to oh my gosh! Thank you, Momo. I love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think it's going to amount to a wash in legal terms. Okay. That was so generous. That's what I think will happen because I even though I firmly believe that Johnny Depp is telling the truth, and I do think that Amber Heard is not telling the truth at all on any level. The problem is the term abuse and what actually constitutes abuse. And I'm the way that I interpreted the instructions as they were read is that abuse can come in any form: verbal, emotional, financial, and physical. And I have a sneaking suspicion that that might be the case with respect to his defamation. Like for example, there's audio of he is reacting. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm granting you that, but I'm talking about straight legally, right? There is audio of an exchange between Amber Heard and he calls her a fat ass. And then they played that part of where he called her the C word. Okay. But I think when they find for Johnny Depp in Amber's counterclaim, I think that's where the jury is going to be sending the real message, which is, we don't believe you, Amber. We don't believe that you were telling the truth. We don't believe your claims. We don't believe anything that you testified to, and we don't believe your witnesses. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. And as far as Elaine, I'm saying, okay, I don't agree with anything that Elaine said today. Okay. I don't see the case the way that Elaine sees the case. But what I'm saying is that she did better today than she's done before. In fact, I think her closing was better than her opening was. I have to give her a little bit something. And okay. I mean, this is true. In very the way that we're interpreting what was read, right? What the rules are. And this is where it's going to get sticky because we have heard some we've had the opportunity to hear different things, right? And we also had the opportunity to hear the argument back and forth when it came to the jury instructions and the explanation of the language, why it should be the way that it is, what it actually means, et cetera, et cetera. So we have that advantage, and the jury, they're allowed to ask questions, and hopefully if they get stuck and they don't understand, they will ask questions, hopefully they do, and it'll be clarified for them. But see, there's a couple of ways to interpret that part of the jury instructions, okay? You can take it the way I take it is you're absolutely right. It is the fact that not only did she tweet the link, right? She shared the link, but she added her own content to the tweet that included the link, right? So it was her own words, and it did talk about what the article was about, and then she included the link. So I think that is the correct interpretation of it. What I'm concerned about is that the jury may not have that same interpretation. That's I'm because even I struggled with some of the jury instructions. And the main reason I struggled with the jury instructions is because I had to take myself out of the position where I was able to, because I watched them debate and argue the different points of the jury instructions and why it should be worded one way or another, right? Both sides. And I have to say for the judge's point or part, excuse me, I thought she was incredibly fair to and reasonable to both sides. I thought she gave a little to each side. I think each side walked away feeling like they got a little something out of all of it. And that she wasn't too unfair to every, you know what I'm saying? That one side wasn't disproportionately listened to over the other, right? So when I took myself out of hearing the arguments for the way that the jury instructions should be written, and I listened to both the both of the closing arguments and their interpretation of the way that the jury instructions read, I can kind of see where it might be difficult for the jury, not because the proof isn't there. It's in understanding the language of the instructions. I think that the language of the instructions is, I think it's as clear as it could be for what the situation is, but there are parts of it that I think are a little vague and that are open to being interpreted either way. So, you know what I'm like, it's just, I think, either way, hey, outside the box with Chloe Joe, good to see you. I think that the jury instructions on the republication was if further words are added with the article link and it is a new audience, then it then constitutes republication. Right. But then Rottenborn also argued that it his argument was essentially that it wasn't new content. She didn't add a different narrative, if you will, to the tweet. She didn't add the way that he talked about it was that she didn't add extra to what was already in the article to her tweet, right? That I agree with you. I agree with you. That's the way I interpreted um the jury instructions. But what I'm saying is I can also see how it could how jurors might also see it from the way that Rottenborn interpreted the language. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that the jury, if I had my way and if things were done the way I think that they should be done, this is how I think it should be. I think that for Johnny Depp's defamation, I think that the jury should rule in favor of Johnny Depp. I think for Amber Heard's counterclaim, I think they should rule for Johnny Depp. I don't think I think that that's the right that if I had my way, that's the way it should be, because I am interpreting the jury instructions the way that I think they were actually intended to be written. I think, or they're not the way they were intended to be written. I am interpreting the jury instructions in the way that I think they are intended to be interpreted. I think that Rottenborn is sort of trying to twist it a little bit, and so, but that can be confusing to a jury, and I'm just hopeful that, at the end of the day, the main thing that I really don't want to see is I don't want to see that Amber Heard wins her counterclaim. And the reason I don't want to I don't want to see Amber Heard win her counterclaim is because I don't think that her side proved that Waldman was acting as an agent for Johnny Depp. I feel they fundamentally failed in connecting those dots. And that's why I believe that that her counterclaim should be dismissed. And I do feel like the most irksome part, there's a couple of irksome parts, so I don't want to say the most irksome part, but one of the most irksome parts to me about this whole the whole closing arguments was the excuses made for why Amber Heard has not paid any portion of what she owes to the charities, and that it's fine for the rest of the world to not use the terms donation and pledge synonymously because Amber Heard does. So who cares? And I found it ridiculous that she had her settlement for 13 months and yet somehow had a crystal ball or could tell and see into the future on some level and knew she better hang on to her $7 million and not pay the charities because Johnny Depp was going to sue her. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. If you could see into the future about Johnny Depp suing you, then why didn't you see into the future about all these abuse allegations you made and just not get with him and not marry him, for Pete's sake? Come on. And I thought there were thank you, Vincent. It's I just find it to be despicable that her counsel, listen, I understand that they're doing their job. I see that. Like, I don't, I know their client is their client, their case is their case, and they got to work with what they got. But I just thought it was despicable to even attempt in closing arguments to justify. And that not only did she try to justify it, right? Then she says, and come on, y'all. This I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Elaine never uses the term y'all, but come on, y'all, cut her some slack. Like she wrangled up some donations from Elon Musk. I mean, come on. You know what? So does the girl from Real Housewives of Dallas. What's her name? She's the one that used to do all the charities. That was her big thing. She didn't actually contribute the actual money to the charities, but what she did was she hosted events and brought in donors. That's what she did. So not that her contribution is less, but she also didn't pledge money to these charities, right? Isn't her name Leanne? That's it. Thank you, Rhodey. I haven't watched Real Housewives of Dallas in a long time, but yeah, Leanne, that's basically what she does. But she's also, again, not pledging to donate. That's her function for the charity, right? That's all. I mean, so what? Because uh Amber Heard managed to convince Elon Musk to donate $500,000 to each of the charities. We're supposed to give Amber a pass. Come on, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. None of you guys are clicking the link. Why you don't want to come up on panel? Making me talk. Amber Heard's counterclaim was her downfall, as it meant she was evaluated for PTSD by Dr. Curry and opened her up to everything. Plus, Elaine stating $100 million was not really expected in her claim. You're right. You're right. She never should have said that. Ever. That was a mistake. Exactly. Everybody's saying that she had 13 months, 13 months. She absolutely had 13 months. And one of the things that I talked about that you can't watch until I re-upload it, but well, no, she hasn't mentioned any future pledges or that well, well, Elaine did for her. And I do, oh, thank you, Heather, whatever. And Elaine did, but then she also, she's sort of on the stand, sort of kind of implied that she would, but she couldn't completely, because obviously she had already admitted that she didn't pay it and she knew she was busted big time. And so here's my other thing. I had several like WTF moments. So let's say that the jury, let's us be the jury for a while. Let's not worry about the actual jury. Let's just us be the jury. All right. So we're having deliberations, right? And let's say we get down to the pictures. Okay. Specifically, the two pictures that have the exact same timestamp down to the seconds. All right. Yet they are visually different. One has a much richer color than the other one. All right. So let's say we get down to those pictures and we throw out both metadata experts because they kind of contradicted each other. And in my opinion, their testimony really wasn't, I mean, it was necessary, but let's just not pay attention to them for right now. Let's call it a wash on those two and just focus on those two pictures. Please explain to me, everybody in this chat right now, most everybody, I don't want to assume, but most everybody in this chat right now has either had their own smartphone or has used a smartphone, right? And of all the people that are in this chat that have either owned a smartphone or used somebody else's smartphone, most of you will have also either taken pictures with the smartphone's camera or taken pictures for somebody else on their smartphone using their smartphone's camera, right? Please explain how you can have two photos who have the exact same timestamp down to the second, yet are visually different. Keeping in mind that Amber Heard's explanation for the difference in the coloring is is a light was turned on. Just by turning on the light, you're going to move the seconds. You might not move the minutes, right? Or you might not move the hour of the timestamp. You might not move the minute of the timestamp, but you will definitely move the seconds of the timestamp. Everything in that picture is exactly the same. You could, in theory, maybe I should do this. I should take both of those photos and lay them on top of each other. Because I can put the richer colored one on the bottom and make the lighter colored one. I can mess with the transparency. That's all I would do, is alter the transparency. But it doesn't actually, you can still see what the main features of somebody's face. If you alter the transparency, it doesn't change the main features of their face, and lay it over top, and I can do it in reverse. And I bet you that, yes, you're right. I mean, it's impossible. The photograph was edited in some form or fashion. This is what I have always suspected, is that the bruises were created by makeup and not Photoshop. I think that's what I've always believed. I believe that Amber was telling the truth when she accidentally said the bruise kit. I think that she, I think that those bruises were created using makeup, and I think that the makeup was enhanced by adjusting the color of the photos, and that's what I think. And then I have a problem with the pictures from the apartment, or from the penthouses, where everybody agrees that there were dogs. And I I sound like Aussie. I think that anybody that has dogs as part of their family know that dogs they react in chaos, high stress situations, chaotic situations, voices being raised, and little dogs tend to they want to protect their people, and they try, and big dogs do too. And this is what I'm having a hard time with. How is it that Johnny Depp went on this rampage like King Kong through downtown New York, throwing things, smashing things, taking a wine bottle and using it like a baseball bat, and yet in the spills on the floor, there are no doggy footprints? Because remember, it's not like Johnny Depp is having his King Kong moment in a vacuum. He's not alone in these penthouses. There are other people in the penthouses. And I didn't hear any mention of the people in the penthouses following Johnny Depp around with paper towels, Fabulosa, brooms, nothing like that, right? So they weren't cleaning as he was making this mess. So I can't see that. I just don't understand how there wasn't any footprints in the wine, in the spill. And so that was my other like sticking point. I had a few more. And I told you guys, when I ended my live, I needed to process. By process, I mean I needed to take a nap, which I got like about 45 minutes of a nap. And when I woke up from the nap, that's when I got the email from the YouTubes with a copyright claim, and I got annoyed. And I was like, I'm not even going to listen to that testimony again, or the closing arguments again, so I can give better, more well thought out thoughts on it, commentary. And because I was annoyed, and I was being petty. So there were other points, and I'm sure as I read you guys' comments and stuff like that, it'll come to me. But yes, it was. Camille Vasquez had some in she just did an incredible job. An absolutely incredible job. She knew ex- exactly what buttons to push with Amber Heard. See, and that's what I found so outstanding about her, because it's very, very clear from her ability to raise an objection, and not just raise the objection, but also have the objection sustained. I think that her objections sustained versus overruled ratio, I would imagine that the sustained are far, I don't know the exact number. Maybe I could do that at some point. Are far, her batting average is way better. Who dis? Oh, it's AJ. Let me do something really quick. Hey, AJ, would you mind just turning your camera on just for 1 second? Because hold on a second. I don't know. I know that there is a way to, I don't know how to be back here and verify it with YouTube. And I'm scared to add her to the stream because I don't want to have a bomb. So I'll just leave it like this until AJ just wants to. All you got to do is turn your camera on real quick. Let me see your pretty little face, and then I'll add you to the stream. So I think that why Camille is such an excellent attorney is in that she paid. It's very clear that she knows the law inside and out. Okay. But she paid attention to details. She caught Amber in, if she had not brought I heard them, you guys heard them, but there were some that she caught that I didn't. Yes, Carla Franco made this cookie and she sent it to me, and she put it on her TikTok, but she sent it to me, and it is Amber Turd. And I decided to use it for the peen screen. So, yeah, that's what's up. But she paid attention to the details that of Amber's testimony, but she also paid attention to Amber Heard's personality. So she knew just the right way to ask the question, right? And in order to elicit the responses that she got out of Amber. And there were many of them where she where she got an emotional reaction out of her. Shamita, can you come back? Can you click the link for me and come back here, please? Please, please. I don't even know what's happening here, but I need to. I need you to come on StreamYard and help me figure something out real quick. Please. You don't have to talk. I just need you backstage. Anyway, there were a few times when she got an aggressive emotional response out of her, particularly when Amber said, "I am not a victim." You don't have to have the headphones though. I just need you backstage for a sec. Hold on a second. Here we go. I already figured it out. Okay, AJ, why don't you go out and come back in? I need you to turn on your camera just for a second. I'm not going to put you on screen. But I need you to turn your camera on, please, because I don't want to put a peen on the screen. I want to add you, Shamita. Don't turn your, why'd you leave? No, come back. I want to try something. Because I feel like, hold on a sec. I just saw something that I want to highlight, but I missed it. Come back, Shamita. All right. I want to do something. Let me see what happens if I do this. Okay. All right. There we go. Hey, AJ, welcome to the show. Oh, there you are. Hey, AJ, what's going on?
Hello.
Hey.
AJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right. Now that I know it's you, I just don't want a ping bomb. I'm so paranoid of that. Can you hear me? Hello. All right. Well, I can hear you, AJ, but you can't hear me. Might have to go out and come back in. Anyway, I thought that there were like a ton of times when she elicited a really good emotional
Hello?
response. Yes, can you hear me?
Hello, hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? You know what's weird is here. All right. Hopefully she'll see that. Anyway, the victim part was really excellent when she said, I'm not a victim. I don't want to be called a victim. I have never said I was a victim. I thought that was excellent. We probably could make a commercial with this stream. Show could. What else was I going to say about Camille? I will say this. When Camille had an opportunity for rebuttal, closing arguments, I thought she did an excellent job at pointing out the better she did a better job of explaining why some of the jury instructions and how they applied. That's what I was trying to say. And she did. See, this is what I enjoyed about Camille, because she was able to do it in a really controlled way. Yes, and all of the lies. I mean, she went through each lie one by one, methodically. And I thought that was important. And I also thought this is another thing I thought was important. What I really what I really enjoyed was when Camille or Ben, which I don't really remember Ben too, actually referencing specific witnesses too much for witnesses for Amber Heard. But I will say that I do remember Camille referencing witnesses for Amber Heard, and I also remember Ben Rottenborn referencing witnesses for Johnny Depp. And the way that Camille did it, she just referenced them by name and and their testimony and how it was contradicted by the evidence. Whereas Mr. Rottenborn took every opportunity to go low and name call, calling Stephen Deuters his drug buddy, Johnny Depp's drug buddy, rather than just call him what he is, which is his personal assistant, and let whatever the emails or texts that he was showing in his demonstrative, rather than just letting the demonstrative speak for itself, the contents of the texts and the emails, right, speak for themselves. Instead, he had to take a dig, which I thought, I don't think is going to play well to the jury. In fact, I find that I honestly don't think that Amber Heard's team, their whole approach is going to play well with the attorneys. And where Camille outshined Elaine in witness cross-examination is really evident in the way that Elaine spoke to Dr. Curry, among other people, but really Dr. Curry, because she did it straight out of the gate. Okay. The first thing she did when she questioned Dr. Curry both times on the initial cross and then on the rebuttal cross, the first thing she did is remind everyone, because she started it out both times almost the same way. Just so we're clear, you're not board certified, are you? And then again, she had to go into the dinner as if the jury couldn't put two and two together. And I found it actually to be quite insulting, because to be honest, we're not talking about one of us, okay? Dr. Curry was not being interviewed to evaluate one of our ex spouses or partners, right? This is Johnny Depp we're talking about, who can't go anywhere. And now it turns out neither can Jason Momoa. Hey, Renee knew. Neither can Jason Momoa. He's getting really hounded by the paparazzi since all this started. AJ, if you come back and chat, if you come back up here, I added you to the stream, but you just couldn't hear me. I could hear you though. Anyway, so what she was implying is that there was something inappropriate and nefarious, because rather than have Johnny Depp and his team come to Dr. Curry's offices, which would necessitate clearing the entire office, right, for confidentiality and privacy, which is what every client deserves, right? But some of us can go into a site, into an office like that, and nobody will ever know we are in the office except for the people in the office. You know what I mean? And they don't care. So she tried to make something nefarious out of the fact that it would be easier for one person to go over to Johnny Depp's house to be interviewed versus the entire team and Johnny Depp and all of that logistical, working out all the logistics for that, go to her office. She made it into something nefarious. And I think she did a disservice and made that, and she was not treating the jury as if they have intelligence and common sense, even though Mr. Rottenborn in closing arguments asked, yes, she did. She did. There's going to be new content. There's AJ. All right, let's see if we can hear her better. Oh, much better. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm sorry, technical difficulties, and I ended up having to switch to I'm just using my phone instead of my laptop. It was like the hell with
Oh,
it.
no problem. Good to see you. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'll keep it short. I want to thank you so much for all your work, especially on this case. It has been a hell of a ride.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I
I
I
just I
honestly
just really appreciate it. I know how hard you work and how hard it is to do this stuff. And just mad respect for you.
Oh,
Just
thank you
totally
so
mad
much.
respect.
That's Thank
You're
you. That means
welcome.
a lot to me. It's for yeah, I really I enjoy doing it and I really, really like talking to you guys. That's my favorite part of all of this. I do. I
No,
really
that's
enjoy
great.
interacting with you guys and hearing what you have to say and your thoughts on it and your perspectives because um yeah, I want to finish this one little part up real quick. I just want to remind
Go
everybody
ahead.
that
I'll wait. I'm fine.
okay. Okay. I just want to remind everybody that Dr. B tomorrow night is going to be premiering. Well, it'll be live. It's not going to be a premiere, but it'll be a live new Kurt Cobain content tomorrow night. And go over if y'all wouldn't mind going over there. Most of you already are, but if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my girl. Turn your notifications on because that's where we're all going to be Saturday night. Oh, what happened? AJ left. She must have went to go sub. I'll tell you what, recliner detective, you guys have seen my face. I had a camera slip. Does nobody remember the camera slip? I don't know if you were in here that night, recliner detective, but I did have a camera slip. There's AJ. I had a camera slip and everybody did see my face right up in the camera. I can't believe that. Yeah, let me get you a link outside the box. Yeah, everybody has seen my face. I just don't.
I've never seen your face.
I had a camera slip like a month ago where
Oh, I
we
missed it.
were we were either doing. I feel like we might have been doing. Let me think. Was it
That's
Ezra?
funny.
And it was either Ezra or Todd Mullis. And Mo was on panel, Shmita was on panel, and
Mm-hmm.
I was switching from the laptop to my phone, and my
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
yeah, and my earbuds, the cord hit the phone screen and turned my camera on. And I was all up in the camera. I cannot believe y'all don't remember that. I even fixed my hair, and then I hear Mo say, "Your camera's on," and I was like, "Okay." So I turned it off. You guys have seen my face. One of these days, I will come and do it like live and turn my camera on for everybody. But I don't do it for no other reason than I fidget a lot. And if I have my camera on, you guys are going to be really distracted by the fidgeting that I do. I promise you. But you have seen me and you're not missing anything really. I'm not like, I don't belong under a bridge asking people to solve my riddles. Like I'm not, like I'm not a troll level, but but I'm all right. Well, it
You're
was and
cool.
oh yeah,
You're
I mean,
cool.
I would say I'm about, oh, I don't know, like I'm a good 7 maybe. 8 with the humor, maybe. That's probably being generous. I'm probably more like a 5, like a 7 when I
It's
make
one of the
people
things
laugh.
I love about you. You're so dry. You're just so dry. It's just
Well,
fabulous.
oh, I can't believe you guys want me to try. I mean, yeah, well, the thing is that initially that when the camera slipped and became on and it came on, it's the worst angle for any woman ever. So
Oh
it's
God.
it's the up angle. So I'm standing
Oh
next to my
no,
desk and
no,
and my
no, no.
phone, yeah, my phone is on the desk. And so it's like looking up. So it's not like it's a weird angle, but then I pick my phone up and then my full face is in the camera. So you guys all know,
Wow.
you know, but you don't know that you know. I don't like the
Yes.
fidgeting. I would be see, this is the thing, recliner detective. I'm very easily distracted. And I can see AJ, right? And I'm having a conversation with her. So it's
Right.
easy for me to look at her picture and because her
Right.
camera is on. But if my camera was on, I would be watching both and I would be all over the place. I'm the worst. I this is the way for me to focus. And plus, I also would so much rather people focus on what's coming out of my mouth than the package that's presenting it, because I
No.
think that that's the most important part, and not that you're gonna be distracted because I'm such a stunner. It's just that when people don't like the things that are coming out of your mouth, that they tend to the first thing they go for is to go for your looks, which then
Mm-hmm.
the debate then devolves into something that doesn't need to be. It's much easier to have a debate with somebody when all you can focus on is their actual words.
Right. Right.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
outside the box, I sure have. So what are your thoughts so far? What do you think? How do you think the jury's gonna go
Who,
this
me?
time? Yeah, you're up here. I want to hear
Oh
from you.
God. I know what I want.
Mhm.
Here's what I want.
Okay.
And here's, irregardless of the outcome, what I'm very pleased with. I
Okay.
would love to see Johnny Depp completely slaughter Amber Heard.
Metaphorically, right?
Um, just completely. The woman is, I mean, even her lawyer lies. I mean, come on. But irregardless, I have a daughter who is very similar. She's very, very narcissistic. She can't hold a job. Everything is everybody else's fault. She's been abused. She's been this. She's been that. Poor me. It's always the poor me,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Um, is Johnny a saint? Absolutely not.
Right. He's not. And
No.
he's admitted that too. That's the other good
And
thing.
yes, he has. He has come 100% clean. The dude is an alcoholic and a drug addict. Okay. And he's admitted it. He has not. Is he proud? No, I'm sure he's not. But
No.
he admits it.
Mhm.
Okay. He just, he's honest about it. She, on the other hand, I don't think can be honest about a goddamn thing. Pardon my language. I just don't. I think that that particular photo on the table with the, you know, the lines of cocaine and the brown liquor and blah blah blah. I think it was a total setup. Um uh, in my day, many years ago, I was a partier, okay? It doesn't look that clean ever.
Yeah, that was the cleanest party table I've ever seen in my entire life.
Exactly. It's
Especially since
yes.
the story was that Johnny Depp, that picture was taken after an all-night party. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah Donnell. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Especially since it was an all-night party and that
No,
photo
no,
was
you're
meant to
gonna
be
have
taken. Yeah.
no, you're gonna have crap and white powder smeared everywhere. You're going to have glasses overturned. You're going to have a full ashtray.
Well, right.
Okay.
Like who was emptying and clean? That's the thing. Not only was the ashtray empty, it was clean. It was wiped out, which is,
Yes.
you know,
It was a fresh, clean ashtray with an unlit cigarette.
mm-hmm.
Total setup. It had to be. Yeah, I mean, that's not a party table. That's a
No.
maybe getting ready to party table.
Yes.
But that's not what happens. No. Within 5 minutes, that whole thing is trash. Okay. And unfortunately, I know this from experience, but I'm 61 now, so I've come a long way. Anyway, that said,
Thank you, Tony.
that said, I don't believe a flipping word that Amber has to say. I believe she 100% abused him. I think her bruises were made up. Her photographs were very strategic. She alerted the paparazzi and got cameos when they were convenient. I mean, there's so much evidence
Well,
that,
yeah.
in my opinion,
Right.
that proves that she's lying through her damn teeth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
So,
why? Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I will say that there was a lot of fuss made about a picture from an incident I believe they said occurred in 2013. It's the one of Amber, and you're basically looking at a side angle of her bicep. And if I'm remembering
yes,
correctly, the
the
story
bruise on
is,
her arm.
yeah, that the
Yeah.
bruise that she got that bruise because he grabbed her and held her. But
And he
um
probably did. But
yeah, but
that's not what her claim was. Her claim was, if correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that the time he supposedly slapped the hell out of her with all his rings in her face?
yeah, slapped her
So
across her
where's the
face.
picture of her face? You see,
That's what doesn't make sense, and that's why I find that
right, right.
Rottenborn's in his closing argument when he said that if you find in favor of Johnny Depp in this case, you're going to be sending a message to current and future domestic violence survivors. I found that so inflammatory and just despicable because the truth is, it was never about that her evidence wasn't enough or her evidence wasn't she should have taken more pictures or she should have had
Right.
more witnesses. The truth of the matter
Exactly.
is that she took a shit ton of photos, but she didn't take a
Yes.
lot. She didn't take. There were photos that if you're taking photos, you would expect to see. I mean, for Pete's sake, she took a picture of a mirror, but she's not in the mirror.
Right.
She
Right.
purposely took the picture from an angle which would keep her out of from being captured in the reflection of the mirror.
She's
Period.
not stupid. She's a
No,
very smart woman.
she's crafty.
She's very, and that is very typical of a classic narcissist because that's how my daughter is. She's not stupid. She can lie like a friggin' champ.
That's the thing. Amber can't. Okay, here's the thing though. Amber's not a good liar. See, it's one thing to be able to tell a lie. Anybody can tell a lie. It's the art of remembering the lie and keeping the story consistent, and that's where people mess
And
up.
she didn't. And she
She didn't.
didn't. It
She
changed.
didn't. And
No, no.
I want to say this too. Outside the box with Chloe Joe. That's exactly right. It didn't. When somebody grabs you by your arms like that, you don't have you have marks that show fingerprints, that show fingers. And
Yes,
that's not
yes,
what that looked
yes.
like. That's not what that looked like. So
No, it
let's
doesn't. No, it
okay.
doesn't.
The best case scenario, in my opinion, all Amber Heard's pictures, if you believe all the pictures and you take them at face value and you believe that they're actual bruises, okay,
Mhm.
best case scenario, the story that Amber told about how she got those bruises is untrue. Worst case scenario, the bruises and the stories are fake. You know what I mean? But best
Yep,
case scenario, based on just the evidence that she presented,
right.
the injuries don't match her story.
No,
Excuse me.
no. Nothing matches. That's the thing. And her story consistently changed.
It does. It changes and it evolves and it adds details that weren't there previously, and it's weird.
And Johnny's does not. His
No,
story is consistent.
and for somebody who has what did Dr. Spiegel call it? What was he testing the whole time?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
His
Yeah,
processing speed. For somebody whose processing speed is so slow, as Dr. Spiegel said, um, excuse me, and he sure it doesn't have a problem telling the same story consistently. Do you know what I mean?
no, no, not at all. It's always the same. Nothing has changed with him. So, personally, obviously, I'm on side Johnny. Okay, whether what the jury does,
Yeah, that.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it hung.
See, I'm thinking that it's. I think I don't see a hung jury likely. What I see
No,
is no, what I see is what I said in the beginning of the stream. I think that they are going to find for Amber Heard against Johnny Depp's defamation lawsuit, and I think it's going to hinge on the definition of abuse because they can. Yes, she most certainly. Even if they find like I was it Leah? I think
because
that
she's
said it.
because she's a woman.
No, this is what I think is going to happen. So I think that even if they agree that her tweet that included her own words and description of the article plus the link to the article, even if they find that she did um, republish it, right? Even if they agree with that, there's another element they also have to find, and they have to find that the content of the article is a lie. And what I'm worried and concerned about is that the definition of the word abuse as it is explained in the jury instructions is it allows for verbal, emotional, physical, and financial. So if they find that, say, they listen to the two pieces of audio, the one where Johnny Depp reacting to her, both instances are reacting. They're not him
And
being the instigator, where he calls her the C word, and then he
yeah,
also
plus
calls
the
her.
fact he's got some really vile texts out there.
He does, but those I'm not going to. Okay, the texts are a separate issue. We can get into that in a second. But for me, I'm concerned that the jury is going to hear that fat ass comment and the C word comment and feel that that constitutes verbal abuse. Okay, regardless of whether it's reactive or not. Right? That they may find that way. So they would find for Amber Heard in Johnny's case against her. But then I think when they deliberate over Amber Heard's defamation countersuit, I think they're going to find for Johnny Depp in that case, because hers is much more cut and dry. She has to prove that Mr. Waldman was acting as Johnny Depp's agent, and in his capacity as an attorney and as an agent for Johnny Depp, in his capacity as his attorney, that he made
Right.
those statements and that they were defamatory to Miss Heard. But the evidence doesn't connect Johnny Depp and Adam Waldman and Johnny Depp knowing and approving of the statements made by Mr. Waldman. And further, Amber Heard's not so much, well, her witnesses actually didn't help her, because once you really look at what they presented as evidence for defamation with the social media and this,
Right.
that, and the other, the way that they evaluate it was incorrect. They have her comparable to, I mean, you cannot compare Mira,
No,
which is her character, to
no.
Aquaman himself. If you want to be comparable, if you want to have equality, um, Mira is to Aquaman as Albert is to Batman.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
that would be comparable, except for the fact that in that series, Jeremy Irons plays, but that's, I mean, and he's way different, but that's the same. That
Right.
the level
Right.
of
It's the
character,
theory. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so I think it's going to be very difficult and damn near impossible for the jury to be able to um, find for her in the defamation lawsuit. And I think when they don't, I think that I'm concerned that they're going to get excuse me, hung up on the definition of abuse. Now, the text messages are different, and this is why they're different. The text messages don't show anything other than a man who vented and said some foul ass shit to his friends. Those texts
Right.
and emails were not sent to Amber. They were sent to other people.
That's true. You're right. I didn't think about that. That's true. They weren't sent to her.
No, and
They were
the
sent to
thing
other
is,
people about her.
right, and then when they tried to introduce see, they actually introduced that text about the Molly. They already introduced that into evidence, but it was highly redacted, and we only got a few parts of it. But when they showed the fully unredacted contents, first of
Right.
all, it was an incoming message, which means that Johnny Depp received that. Somebody else wrote it, not him. But even if
Right.
nobody pays attention to that detail, again, it wasn't sent to Amber. And then you have the other text that was, or email, I can't remember which one it was, that was sent to his sister about wanting Amber Heard replaced in the WB movie. Well, okay, last I checked, Johnny Depp's sister can't do anything about that. I mean, he can
No, he
say,
was just venting.
right. That'd be like me sending an email or a text or a group message to my ward girls saying, man, I'm so irritated with my husband. I want him removed from his job. Okay.
Right. Right.
Telling, telling,
Exactly.
telling Shmita and Dr. B and Momo and Sam and Team Psych Ward that I want my husband fired from his job. It's a crappy
Make
thing
it
to say,
happen.
but
Yeah.
they don't have any power to make that happen, and neither does Johnny Depp's sister. So again, they failed to show that Johnny Depp did anything to try and have Amber Heard fired. Not only that,
No,
but then there's the
you're
other.
right. I think he was just venting in that. That's all.
Right. And then there's the other email that he sent to his former manager, where he is asking for stuff from San Francisco, which is very vague. We don't know what he's asking his former manager for in that
No,
capacity. Perhaps
no.
perhaps that manager witnessed something, and Johnny Depp is telling him, I may have to, maybe he's implying, I may have to call, have you testify to some stuff that you've seen. Maybe, but at the end of the day, even if you believe it's something way worse than that, something more nefarious, his former
Mhm.
manager also doesn't have the capability to get Amber Heard fired. And the truth is, furthermore, Mr. Hamada, who is the president of Warner Brothers DC division, said
Mhm.
that Amber Heard's character, Mira, was never going to be huge. She
No,
is um a
she's a
side
B
character.
actress. Yeah.
Well, the thing, it's not her as an actress, it's the character itself. Mira is not I mean, she has her moments where
She's not a
but
lead.
right,
Yeah.
her Mira is not the center of the story.
No, she's
And
not the
that's
lead.
right, exactly.
Right.
So she was never going, and I find that the assumption that just because Aquaman did extremely well, and it did, that
Mhm.
somehow that was going to equate into Amber Heard becoming some kind of superstar. That's
No,
not really how it works. And anybody that
no.
watched Aquaman, the fact of the matter is they don't have chemistry. And any chemistry that between Aquaman and Mira that we as viewers saw on screen was the result of editing and adding the score to it. That
Yeah.
adding music it's very simple. When that when you're watching a scary movie, something
Right.
bad's about to happen because the friggin' music changes. It's no different. It's part
Right.
of the ambiance, as it were. And
That's right.
so that's about the sum of it. So and
Yeah.
then the other part that I think can't be it doesn't get enough attention is the fact that during this time between the Adam Waldman statements and the lack of work for Amber Heard was also the pandemic. And there was a lot of
That's true.
projects that were shut
Yes.
down completely or put on hold.
Oh,
And
yeah,
hey,
for sure.
Jody is cool. So, there were a lot of other factors, and
Mhm.
even without those other factors, they still don't prove that Amber Heard's career didn't take off in the way they hoped it would. That's all
No.
that this really is hope, right? In the way that they hoped
Right.
it would, because of
Right.
something that Mr. Waldman said. I didn't even know about with Mr. Waldman's statements. Oh, good night, Sarah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'm so glad to have
Night,
you.
Sarah.
Good night, Sarah. Thank you so much. You sleep tight. Have sweet dreams. So I just think the whole thing is that their whole premise of
No.
the statements is laughable. It's a farce.
Absolutely. I mean,
So
Johnny Depp was nothing short of a superstar.
he
He's
was
had a shining career for how many years?
ever, and
Exactly.
hold
She
on, just
had what, a couple of bit parts, and her biggest thing was Aquaman. How do you compare those two? You can't. There is no comparison.
Well, no, because to be fair about it, if you take Johnny Depp out of Edward Scissorhands, right? There is no
God, I
Edward.
love that movie.
It wouldn't have been the same.
No,
But the truth
no.
is that Mira, the character of Mira, could have been played by any number of Hollywood actresses and still
Yeah,
been good
it was
because
a generic part.
right.
Sure.
And that's another
Absolutely.
thing. That's an excellent point. Vincent's missing ear is that they are in the business of personalities. And the truth of the
Yes.
matter is that people didn't like her.
Right.
Amber is not
Right.
a likable gal, and that's just the truth. I
Yes.
mean, her behavior in court was highly, highly inappropriate. And I was annoyed.
No.
That's another thing I was annoyed about. When Mr. Rottenborn said she hasn't smiled or smirked in this trial. Please, please, Mr. Rottenborn, please don't make me have
Bullshit. That
Shmita.
woman smirked and smiled every damn time
Exactly.
they
you s-
testified for Johnny.
Exactly.
My God.
Did you
It
see
was
her?
disgusting.
It was. And did you see her face when he read out the texts between with
Yes.
she had a smug look on her face like we find
Oh,
like
yeah.
we got the
Yeah.
unredacted version and your goose is cooked now. And then after the
Yes.
smug look, then she pretended she had to dial it back because somebody
Yeah.
probably
And then
told
all
her.
of a sudden she fake cries.
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
Whatever.
that's acting. That's
Well,
not real.
acting would have been if she actually produced actual tears. That was the other part that's missing from her performance is the fact that
Exactly. She's not even a good actress
no, she's not.
because she couldn't even cry.
No.
No,
And
she couldn't even cry right. She
and
couldn't
the tr-
cry at all.
no, she couldn't. And listen, I'm not an Amber Heard fan, and but I don't know what her deal is on the back end with the stand. But if anybody has, well, they changed it now. It used to be CBS All Access. It's now Paramount Plus. I implore you, go watch
Right.
The Stand. Go watch it. Go
Right.
watch it. Go watch her performance in The Stand.
Exactly. And look at the difference.
Right. Look at her play Nadine. And hold on, I know her last name is I think it's Giancamo, but I want to make sure I say her name correctly. The original actress in The Stand. Hold on, I'll look it up. Not 2020. Let's see the next one.
I don't remember.
I think it was 1994.
Oh my God, that's old.
Yeah, I was 17 in
Oh God,
1994.
shush.
Laura San Giacomo. She played
94.
Nadine
I
Croft.
was a mom.
Now, in 94. But
shoot, 94, I had teenagers. And I wasn't young when I had my kids either.
well, I was living my best life at 17. But yeah, go watch it.
Yeah.
I know, Sugar
Yeah,
Beat.
that's
I
a
know.
good idea. That's
Listen,
a great idea.
I will say this, to be fair. I think
Yes,
if
I agree.
if I remember right, I actually think that the 2020 version of Nadine has been pared down compared to the 1994 version. I think
Really
yeah, I think they focused
interesting.
yeah, I think they kind of pared her role down. Look at here comes Shmita. I was 4. Shmita, do you want to be blocked? Because that's how you get blocked.
Smita. Always causing trouble.
Yes. Yes, she can.
I
Kirstie
know.
Alley can cry on. I mean, she is great. she is great and she can cry on cue. And that's like one of those essential things. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is where the problem is for me with Amber. When she's talking about a situation
Hmm.
that is devastating. Okay. Now
Right.
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt on this because I'm not a can I cry? I can cry. I possess the tear ducts and all the things. I'm capable of producing tears. But I am hi BR the star. I'm not a I'm a very stoic person. I cry, but I cry in public. And I will to be fair, I don't know that I would cry giving that testimony. I don't know if I would or not. I've not experienced what Amber Heard claims that she experienced, so I don't know, but I do know me and I know how private I am and how I really try my very hardest not to cry in front of anybody. I'm very private about that.
You
So,
know, that's a very interesting point because I'm the same way. I
where
mean, case in point, I went to my oldest grandson is 11.
uh-huh.
And 2 days ago, I went to his graduation from elementary school. I mean, they did the whole pomp and circumstance, and I didn't sob, but I had tissues and I had to do a little dabbing.
I will say
But
that that's different, and but I will say this.
yeah.
When my youngest son graduated from kindergarten and they do the little thing, they played the song from, Dumbo, Baby Mine.
Oh
Y'all,
no.
your girl lost it. I mean, I didn't
I
have,
was
like,
gonna
this
say,
I
did
did
you
not
die?
I did. I didn't have, like, full-on snot bubbles, but definitely tears running down the face. So what I'm s but my problem with Amber is she it wasn't that
She
she
acts like she's
that's
crying.
there you go. That's the issue.
She does the chin quiver,
Yes,
you
that's the
know.
problem.
She acts like she's crying, but her eyes are dry.
Exactly.
I
That's
mean,
my
either cry or don't.
right.
That's
I
it.
mean, you can have emotion in your voice
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
and convey pain
Right.
without going the extra mile and attempt making crying sounds with no tears. That's where it it got
That's the
her. That
problem.
was the problem for me because I tried. I tried
Yes.
to look at it. I tried to be I tried
Yes.
to take a step back and even though I found that her stories don't make like logical sense. Even that
No.
I tried to I took a step back and I thought, okay, well let me just focus. Maybe she is like me in that she is doesn't cry. It's very difficult for her to cry in public.
Look
And
at you being the good guy.
I tried. Listen, that's the thing that like I've been like I will check out other people on YouTube all the time. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't. You guys have seen me in other
Sure.
people's chats, and I've listened to other
Sure.
people's opinions, and
Of
one that
course.
was hot, one that I just I can't even remember who it was, but I just feel like they said it in court too, that there was this campaign against Amber Heard, a social media campaign, and that people were swayed. I found that to be
Yes,
I'm
I
not gonna
remember
say
hearing that too.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say that if there is if such a thing exists, that there wouldn't be some people that would be swayed by that. However, to say all people or the
No.
majority of people were I found that to be such a fucking insult
Yes.
because I went
Yes.
into this trial without
100%.
knowing I didn't know anything. I didn't know I knew about the trial in the UK in that I knew that Johnny
I
Depp
didn't even
sued.
know who she
Oh,
was.
I did. I knew that because I'd watched I because I watched Aquaman and I watched
See,
The
I
Stand.
didn't. I never even saw
But
the movie.
I will say this, whenever I was putting together my initial opening for this, and I went and searched her movies, I didn't realize she was in Pineapple Express, and I've seen that movie at least 30 times.
See, I never saw that either. I did not know who she was.
Yeah,
I
did.
didn't.
I did. But then, okay, so that's all that I knew about the UK trial. I knew that he had sued the son. I knew that Amber Heard had testified, and I knew that in the UK trial he lost. They ruled in favor of the son. So when
Right,
that's the
right,
extent of what I knew. I
right.
didn't know all of the backstory of Io Tillett. I didn't know about Rocky Pennington. I didn't know any of that stuff. So when
No.
I started the trial, I listened to the opening statements. Well, I went through it. You guys were all here. You know, that's where it
Oh yeah.
started for me. And I was open even
I watched
after
the whole thing
Johnny.
too. I was
Yeah.
open as well because I had no idea who Amber was. And
Yeah.
yes, I like Johnny Depp, but I'm
Right.
not a super fan. So I was like, this
I
might be interesting.
I like Johnny Depp too, but I'm also realistic. I'm not going to
Right. Me
sway
too. And
and
that's
bite.
how I went into it.
Yeah, and bite my tongue and tell and give and give opinions because I think there's actual chance that Johnny Depp is going to stumble onto my stream and find me, you know, enthralling, and so grateful that I agreed with him that he's going to slide into my DMs. That's ridiculous. I commented at whatever I said when I was playing the videos, whether I was restreaming it after the trial was over for the day or I was live streaming it, whatever came out of my mouth in the moment is what I felt that right then.
Right.
Period. Every
Right.
time.
Right.
So
I got you.
that's how I felt.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I don't know. Um anyway, back to what I was starting to say. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see a hung jury, to be honest. I
Yeah.
don't know that they're going to rule in either one's favor. But
Hey,
I
Dana
will tell
Tucker.
I will tell you one thing. One thing that no matter what happens, and no matter if anybody gets a fucking dime, it doesn't matter. What's important to me and what I'm so proud of is I'm so proud that Johnny came out and is trying to show the world that domestic abuse and violence is not just women.
Right. I agree.
It's men too. I had a very close friend years ago when my kids were little who I stayed with when I left their father, my ex-husband. I had no place to go. I mean, I was being abused.
I'm sorry.
And so it's okay. It's 30 something years. We haven't spoken in forever, and I'm happy to keep it that way. Anyway, we had no place to go, so my best friend at the time redid her basement. So at least we had a bed to sleep on. I had lost my job. I mean, I lost everything. Everything. I left. I packed up my baby girls. They were 2 and 5. And we left literally with the clothes on our backs as soon as he went to work. It was like, let's go. And I called my girlfriend and she was there and she picked us up and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, my point is, I learned, I stayed with them. It took me not too long, about 6 months, until I was able to get a job and find a super cheap daycare for my babies.
Mhm.
and start, building up an income and rebuilding my life. And I found an apartment for the
Hey,
three of
y'all.
us. It was a 1 bedroom, and I slept on the couch, and that
Hey,
was
Christine.
fine. They slept in the bedroom. But um, the point is, while I was staying with my friend, I'll
Mhm.
never forget there was one night that they were making dinner. She was cooking pork chops in a cast iron skillet.
Mhm.
He was outside making corn. I remember this so vividly. He's outside, roasting corn on the grill,
Mhm.
and he it was just, the corn was a little overdone. She took that frying pan and flung it at his head,
Oh my gosh.
and it was fire hot.
Wow.
Thankfully, he ducked. He never said a word. He he never said a word. He walked back outside, and he put some fresh corn on and did it again. Made some more corn, and this time
Wow.
it was right. And
Wow.
I was just, I'm talking, you talk about mic drop.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I bet that let me hey Christine, welcome babe. How you doing? That's crazy. Like it does happen to men and I
It
think that
does. It does. And I've seen it.
yeah.
And that was that, honestly, Jen, to be really honest, that's my biggest point for wanting to come on your show tonight and speak about this,
Okay. Oh, good.
is
I'm glad you did.
because it's so important. And I'm
Mhm.
so proud of Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that was hard for him.
I
Hear,
can't
hear.
even
I agree.
imagine that. It's so emasculating.
Well, I think that let
How
me
hard that had to be for
yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know,
What you think, Christine?
Men are not raised to be that way. You're
Well,
supposed to
no.
be strong. You're a man. You take it. You whatever. But women can be really nasty.
Yeah, they can. They can. They
Right.
can be perpetrators. Just
And,
because you're a
and
female
yeah,
doesn't make you automatically the victim.
exactly. And I am so freaking proud, irregardless of the outcome of this. I know Johnny, I know. I just feel that he doesn't want a dime.
No, it's not been about money for
He
him.
doesn't give
Absolutely
a
not.
shit about the money.
Well, she doesn't have it. I mean, hell, she couldn't even honor her pledge to charity for Pete's sake. So, yeah.
Pledge. Yeah, yeah. Don't even get me started on the
Well, yeah.
pledge,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
whatever. But hey, she's got Elon Musk baby now. I mean, she's set for life.
Well, I wanna give Christine a chance to talk. "Hey, babe, how are you?" But
Yeah,
before you talk
I just wanted to make that last point, then I was going to let you go. I know I've been on
okay.
too long.
No, no, you're not been on too
So
long.
I'm
No, you've
just,
not been on too long. I'm glad you came up. I just
I
wanted
am too. Thank you so much. I just really wanted people to see that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
so important
very important.
that it's not just women, it's men too.
And I think for men, it's more difficult because
It's
you know,
not manly.
well, I think what it is women okay, so as a mom, I have 2 boys. I've raised 2 men, and I
Yeah.
raised my boys that you never hit a woman.
Good
So
for you.
that you
I
walk
love that you
away.
said I've raised 2 men. That's good job.
Thank you. I did. I
Yes.
raised 2 men who whatever well,
That's fabulous.
the girl that got my oldest son, I keep waiting for her thank you note, haven't gotten it yet. It I should be getting
Don't
it
hold
any
your
time.
breath. It's
Probably
not
not
coming.
probably not, but But my youngest son, I expect a thank you note from whatever woman he ends up with, because I raised my boys, I raised them to be men, and I raised them that if a woman hits you, there is no there's I mean, get the minute you can get out, run, and call me. I'll handle her.
I'll come beat her ass.
Right, no, I'll handle her legally. I will call the cops. I will make a report, a witness statement. Yeah, I'll dot all the i's and cross all the t's. Do not
Damn
worry.
straight.
But don't hit
Good
back.
for you.
Nobody
Good for
should be
you.
hitting anybody. And I raised my girls to be women and never to take a man hitting them, but also you don't hit men either. You don't hit anybody. We go
No,
by the
ever,
kindergarten rule here.
ever.
Keep
No,
your hands, feet, and all objects to yourself.
that's
So I
right.
like that Amber thinks that she's going to be the spokesperson for any damn thing when she has not mastered the first rule of kindergarten.
Yeah, she's going to be the spokesperson for lying.
Malingering.
Malingering, shaming.
Malingering. Thank you. Yes.
I'm sure there'll
Malingering.
be some I'm sure that Amber Heard's going to be the spokesperson for sheets that don't stain if you poop in them or something. That's what I see in her future.
Can you believe she shit on this
Rubber-
bed?
No.
Jesus. Who
No.
does that?
I don't know. Listen, I
My
can
God.
tell you right now that my philosophy in life is that you don't have to get petty if you stay petty. All right. But even I am not that petty because honestly, it's humility.
That petty doesn't describe that.
No, that's like
I don't even know what the word is.
foul.
Well,
Is what that word is.
Foul.
She thinks her shit doesn't stink, like literally.
Literally, exactly.
Literally, she believes that.
Exactly.
It's just so beyond filthy. I can't even. I can't. I can't.
I can't either. I do want to say something really quick. Dana, to Dana, I totally friggin' forgot that she was the girl in apartment 406 in Zombieland. I totally forgot that. And I wanted to say, when you watch that movie and Jesse Eisenberg says this is Garland, Texas, no, it always looked like this. He's right. That is exactly what Garland, Texas looks like, because that's up North Texas. That's where I'm from. I've been in Garland many times.
Nobody's heard of it.
Pretty much look like that. Hush your lip, Christine.
See, I gotta go watch these movies now. I've never seen any of them.
Oh, they're so good. You got to watch it. I quote Zombieland all the time. Like, enjoy the little things. Seat belts. What's rule number 1, Christine? What's rule number 1?
Yeah.
In Zombieland. What is it, Christine? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Cardio. The fatties are the first to go.
Oh my God.
You ain't got to be the fastest runner, but you just got to outrun one person.
I
That's
told you,
it.
I still have my 20-year-old booty. It's in there. I swear, it's in there.
Mine. I like it. I see some semblance of how it was when I was 20. It's not. I mean, look, I've had 4 kids. It is what it is.
Oh.
And gravity, and double tap. Yes, double tap is also very, very important. Seatbelts, cardio, double tap. Enjoy the little things. Avoid bathrooms. That kind of stuff. Those are important.
Yes, it is. I've got 5 grandchildren, and suddenly I turned 60, and I started having weird health problems. I feel fine, but apparently my blood work says otherwise.
Oh no.
Are you single? My dad would love you. I can tell already. You are outspoken. You are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Find my dad a date.
Look at Christine being a little matchmaker. You a little yenta, Christine?
Yeah. My dad deserves happiness.
Yeah, but I love how that you're on the lookout for your dad to deserve happiness, to find you. That's really sweet.
That
Yeah,
is
I would love
very
it. That would make
sweet.
my heart. That would make my heart so happy if
You
if
got a
he
good
found
heart,
another love.
Christine. You got a good heart.
Oh,
Oh,
yay. That's
don't
so
tell nobody.
cute.
No, I ain't gonna tell nobody. I got a reputation too. Don't tell anybody I was mushy, and acknowledge that you got a good heart. We both got a reputation.
Gotta keep it up, girl. Keep it
That's
up.
right. I'm about to lose my street cred up on these YouTube streets.
No, hell no. No. You don't lose the street cred. No, never. Never give it up.
Hope
I'm
not.
gonna let you go, ladies.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Good night. Nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
And
you.
again,
AJ.
I'm gonna leave you with my final point. I'm so fucking proud of Johnny Depp.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming up. We enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for all your support. I appreciate it.
Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for letting me speak. It was important to me.
I'm
I've
glad
been feeling it all day. It's like, God, I want to scream it.
Well, you're welcome. That's what tonight was for everybody to get it off their chest so that whenever the jury comes back, we've gotten all of our feelings out about the
Yep.
trial. And then
Yeah.
we'll have to have whatever the verdict is, we're going to have feelings about that too.
Yes,
So I
we
like,
will, and
so
we'll
we'll
be
be,
back.
well, we're not going to be, I don't want to deal with old business after the verdict is read. So let's get it all out and on the table and off our chests tonight.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you
So
so much.
much.
You're welcome. Good night. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming
Good
up.
night, ladies.
All
Good
right.
night.
I'll see you in the
Bye.
chat.
Okie dokie. I wanted to highlight this one thing, this one question. I forgot it. What's you doing, Christine?
Hey, my Jen Lou.
Gee.
Gosh, slow clap for you today. Like from all of us,
What?
you must be exhausted, girl.
I
2
took
hours now.
I took like a 45-minute nap
Oh, did ya?
because I didn't want to take too late of a nap because you know how that works. You just end up being too tired. And
Mhm.
so I just kind of like just rested my eyes. And then I got that stupid email from YouTube because of the stupid cabinet
Oh,
video. Yeah. It is what it
yeah.
Mia Moore Michelle. Hey babe, good to see you.
We finished up with the terror stuff, and then I scooted my boot right over here to talk to you, Jen.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Because I've been
I
looking
think,
forward to it.
yeah, I think T's on her way too. She's making dinner.
Okay, good. She make
Yeah.
dinner for me.
I don't
I'm
think so. This is probably
I'm
Paw
I'm
Patrol mac and cheese or something. You won't
Oh,
want
I'm
that.
hungry now. I like is it Kraft macaroni and
It
cheese?
was
I don't
probably
care.
like some character shape something. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what the character shape is. I just care that here it is. Smalls ask this. Um, okay. So this is what I think
I'm
about
gonna
that.
ask my pendulum.
Do it. Okay,
Go ahead.
but don't tell me what the answer is. So
Okay.
this is what I think. They deliberated today. Obviously, they're gonna enjoy the long weekend because they don't have to deliberate Monday. Because obviously. So I am thinking that we should have a verdict by Wednesday at the latest. I think, yes, it was a 6 week trial. Yes, they heard a lot of testimony, but it really, there's really some, there's some key elements, some key facts, and then there's key testimony that goes along with what they're actually supposed to be deciding per the jury instructions. And I think if there is any glitch in the deliberations, I really, really feel like it is going to be over the definition of abuse.
Mm-hmm. Pendulum has spoken, but I won't speak. I won't tell
Okay.
you.
Just
Everybody in chat. Hi, tribe. Sorry I didn't say anything. Hi, everyone.
just if I'm right, tell me later. Like when
Okay.
it happens, tell me what the pendulum said.
Later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I like to gloat twice. Not only will I be right, and then the jury will say what they're going to say, and I'll be vindicated there. But then I'll have you later on being like the pendulum.
Yeah, we'll have to like double back on each other to see if we were extra right.
Yes. I can't wait. The pendulum agrees. Like today in chat when you wrote that, because that's really what I really feel they're going to get stuck on that. I don't think it's going to be a hung jury. That's one thing I don't predict, but I do think that I think they're going to get stuck on the definition of abuse.
Yeah, once you explained that, like once I had asked because I didn't. You know what? I'm tired of their voices by now. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, not Camille's and stuff, but like we're pretty much all of them. It's been a long.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of listening. I've heard it all before. We heard the same thing 3 times.
Right.
So I was kind of turned out a little bit, and then so when you explained it to me, I was like, oh, I see that, and I think that in the court of public opinion, there's already a clear answer.
Oh, yes.
And a wash,
Draw.
this is,
I guess
yeah,
it'd be a draw.
this would be very satisfying still. The only
Right.
thing that would make me upset was if she got any money.
Right. Right. Well, see, this I would be upset about any money, and and not for any other reason than first of all, I don't think that she's proven her case, but more to the point, why should you award somebody damages who can't honor their commitment to a children's charity? I mean, beyond the ACLU, which is an important charity, don't get me wrong. Oh crap, I just highlighted everything because I forgot to turn my mouse off. Beyond the fact that the ACLU does good work in its own right, the truth of the matter is it's a freaking children's hospital, for Pete's sake, and you couldn't even honor your commitment to that. Like, what kind of person are you? Don't give her extra money. You know what I mean?
We've all watched her net worth plummet these past
Right.
6 weeks. Like we've
Exactly.
been seen this happen.
Exactly.
Exactly. It started around 10 million, and then it was around
Yes.
7 million.
Yes.
It's just
Yes. Yeah.
Just drifting away right now.
Yeah. Oof. It's bad news bears. It's
But
definitely.
besides talking specifically about the trial, I think that we'll all have one more good one in it. Once we have a actual verdict to discuss, but the ramifications, the domino effects of this are a thing. I really do think this is so important for just everything right now.
Well, I mean, think about it. You're right. Think about it. Because let's be honest. Let's really get down to brass tacks. These are the trials like this, situations like this are the way our society is in the United States is it takes something big to shock us, right?
And then that's used in other that will be used
Correct.
Cited. Yeah,
Correct.
and it will be ongoing cited, all the findings here.
Look at, so Nicole Brown Simpson. It's not that nobody was aware of domestic violence before Nicole Brown Simpson. And it's not like people were not aware that women who are the victims of domestic violence end up being the victims to red rum at the hands of their abuser. Okay. It's not that we were not aware of that as a society before, but the change came in hearing those 911 tapes and knowing how many times she had called for help, and he was never prosecuted for the domestic violence. I'm not going to comment as to the verdict in that case and what because the verdict is the verdict.
Yeah. But also recently, another big domestic violence thing was what happened with Gabby Petito, and that brought attention to things again, and it didn't work in that case. I think that town is probably the safest town for a victim to be in right now. Those poor cops got the microscope on them.
I think those cops, and this is just my opinion, and it's never been a really favorable one, but it's the truth. I think that those cops could not have possibly foreseen, based on what they saw that day, just that day and that encounter, could not have possibly foreseen what was going to happen. And let me just say this. They could have been jerks, and they could have followed the strictest letter of the law, which would have meant that Gabby would have been the one arrested that day. And to be fair, let's say that they didn't arrest Gabby. Let's say they saw it a different way and they arrested Brian. Gabby would have bailed him out, and and nothing would have changed. They could not have. I think that they're going to be more. I think they're gonna make changes, but to be fair to those police officers, given the information that they had at that time on that day, I think they did the best they could. They tried to
Okay.
separate them. They did separate them. And they could have arrested Gabby. She did admit to hitting him. And if they wanted to follow the strictest letter of the law, which is what everybody wants them, that's what the outrage is. Why didn't they follow the law? If they'd have followed the law, Gabby would have been under arrest that day, not Brian.
But do you? Okay, so this is going to be a question that like not everybody loves, and I'm just wanting to discuss it.
It's fine.
But
It's fine.
do you think that what we saw the body cam of the officers, and what part or like what weight do you think it gave into the situation that Gabby was young and beautiful and crying? Do you think that swayed them to be lenient with her? Like, had she not been Gabby Petito, do you think that they may have been more biased to the situation, or like what?
I think that there were a lot of factors that went into their decision that day. I do think that her youth had a lot to do with it, but I actually think the biggest factor that went into their decision that day is the fact that they weren't from there. They were not local. They were tourists. They were traveling through, and they were young. And when they talked to Gabby about separating from Brian, she was in a panic about being away from him, but she was also in a panic about the money.
Yeah, and I could see, like, I perceived them as good kids, as like an adult. Like, I would consider myself an adult to them because they're younger than me. But I would have like viewed that as good kids, like doing something fun and adventurous, not doing drugs, not being, nuisances. Good kids having a bad days. I agree that there was a lot of things that played into that. Yeah.
But I also I know I see what I understand what you're putting down, and I do think that if there that did play into it, yes, that was part of it. But I also think the other part of it was the fact that they were tourists, and that
so many things went,
that they didn't see this on and remember, and this is what I talked about this a lot, not on my channel because I didn't cover it, but I was on another panel talking about it. What people must keep in mind when they're being critical of the officers in that situation is that they can only go by the information they have at the time. And it isn't like Gabby had old healing bruises or injuries to her body. In fact, she wasn't injured at all. Brian was the one who had marks. And so it isn't like they were looking at a chronic situation. I think it is exactly what you said. I think they saw two kids having a bad day in an intensely high pressure situation. I mean, it's one thing to be traveling with
good kids,
right? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. It's one thing to travel with your partner, right? They say that the true test of a relationship is to travel with that person. But that situation was made even more intense by the fact that they were living in that van for all intents and purposes. They were on top of each other all the time. And I guess money was an issue to some extent. Money causes all couples to fight. You can be butt crazy in love.
I wonder, did she not know about all his money?
I don't think she did.
Jesus. It's a shame because they were using her money, huh?
Yeah, based on what I saw, which is what everybody else saw. I wasn't privy to anything extra, but based on what I saw, it seems to me the fact that she was so worried about money tells me two things. One of two things: either she was an incredibly good actress, which I don't think is the case, or she had no idea. And I actually think she didn't. Hey, criminality!
There she is.
I actually don't think she knew about the money. I don't, and I don't think that there's anything on the officer's part that they found out that day that had they acted any differently, it would have changed things, because they didn't arrest anybody, right? And Brian actually left. He went back to Florida, and then he went back out there. So in all likelihood, it would have whether they arrested him or they arrested her, it probably would have gone the same way.
If there had been like a bong laying in the middle section of the van or some beer cans on the floor, somebody would have got arrested though.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But there wasn't any there, and I think that they were trying to find a way, which is why that officer, one of the last things that he asked her, and he told her, I want you to think about your answer very carefully. Don't just answer me immediately. And then he asked her, did you mean to hurt him or something to that effect? And I think that was his way of using officers' discretion, but still being inside of the law. Based on her response, that is what kept her from being arrested that day, was that she said it was an accident. She didn't mean to hurt him.
Right.
So
That was just a sad like blunder of every possible accidentally wrong thing happening.
It was a fluke
at one time for those cops to like make those decisions in that order. And
right.
Poor Gabby. She did not deserve that.
She didn't deserve that. She was young. Nestor, get out of the room. She was young. She was beautiful. She had her whole life ahead of her.
Absolutely.
And I think the saddest part of Gabby's story is the loss of potential. We have no idea what Gabby Petito would have brought to the world. What she would have.
She had like a very supportive family. Like that really matters as far as like success in life.
She did, and she seemed like somebody who wanted to make a difference. She seemed like she was the type of person who wanted to leave her corner of the world a little better than how she found it. And the fact of the matter is, we need more people like that in this world. We're discussing all kinds of stuff, criminality. The link is pinned, babe, if you want to come up. But yeah, it's a sad case. But I think with Johnny Depp, I have to go back to what does Johnny Depp have to gain by this lawsuit? Amber Heard doesn't have, first of all, she doesn't have the money, right? And her earning potential has substantially decreased. There's Teresa.
No, I'm just kidding. Like, let's take,
should I put the peen? I'm gonna put the peen down. I'm gonna put the peen thing up, and then I'm gonna add her to the stream.
I thought you had put that because you were nervous that I wasn't me, so I tried to like poke my voice in so that you can.
You did. Look, Teresa.
Did she holding a
she
big
turned her.
cheddar?
She turned her camera on and gave me a face. She's so cute.
Next time you do that, I'm just gonna like write a big P and a Sharpie on paper.
I love the peen screen.
I just want to use it.
Oh my god.
I kind of want one now too.
You want one too? You want?
I want a peen screen.
You want me to make you a peen screen?
Vetoed. We are not stealing Jen Lou's ideas.
No.
Originally
I have to say,
Jen, don't interrupt here, okay?
Okay, sorry. I will make it for her. I'm not adding work to your plate, Christine. I'm offering to make it.
Hell no.
That's what I hear.
Christine's work.
That's really what I hear. The objection. It's not the peen screen in and of itself. It's what the work that the peen screen represents, and Christine's schedule just won't allow.
Did I miss all the really cool JD conversation? I'm gonna have to go watch the replay.
We haven't even started yet.
No, we haven't even started yet.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. I missed 2 hours. Poor Jen Lou was exhausted. I mean, she deserves an A. Teresa, what are you doing?
Right now, I'm rolling up my window. I'm driving to pick up the girl from gymnastics.
Sounds like she's moving fucking furniture, don't it?
Did it really?
A little bit, yeah.
Itching your foot or something with your phone.
No, the phone is in my room.
I'm kidding. I forget what I was doing.
Maybe I hit it the speaker with my hand. How's that?
Oh yeah.
there
did.
is
That
there
was it.
That
we
was it.
do
That's what
we
followed my
do
hand.
have a question about what was served for dinner because Christine thinks that it was like Paw Patrol macaroni and cheese. I don't care what shape the macaroni and cheese was. I just want it to be Kraft macaroni and cheese. Don't give me
Teresa,
that.
you win.
You're gonna love it. It was actually like Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
Told you.
Sloppy
I
don't-
Joe.
called it. I know my girl.
Wait,
Yeah,
Sloppy Joe's and mac. Well, I literally had from the time we got off the live to the time I knew I had to leave to go get her. I was already running late. Like I should already actually be in the parking lot. But
It was because she was making it with a kid on her hip, and so
that's
I was
hard.
like mac and cheese. That's
I
what it was.
was like, yeah, and a 5-year-old at that. So like having that giant dip is not always easy. But yeah, it was Sloppy Joe's and mac and cheese. I had to put that together real freaking quick, feed the men in the household, and bounce to get the girl.
See, I don't care what
Wait,
anybody says.
Do you have a 1-car household, Teresa?
No, I have a 2-car household, but my husband was out of town all week, and he.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I keep giving him no credit. I'm sorry, Michael, because you know I give you all the credit.
Yeah, he works very hard.
He's my backup.
Yeah. No, he works very hard. So he actually was engaging in some alcoholic beverages and some adult beverages. And so he could not leave. And he asked me when I was live, he's all, "Are you going to cook dinner?" And I'm like, yeah, like I'm fine. Like I'm going to cook dinner. Like, geez. And when I got up, he's all, "I wasn't trying to say like you needed to come cook dinner. I was trying to ask you, like, do you need me to start dinner?" And I was like, well, that would have been a way better thing to say.
Right.
The answer would have been yes, cook dinner.
I feel like the explanation of the question is a little Amber Heardy, right? Because
yeah, way to be passive aggressive with your offer to help.
He has that. Yeah, he has a little bit of that. Like he doesn't throw stuff at me or anything. Even though I have thrown an 18-pack of eggs at him at my couch, technically, but
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Clean that up.
Well, it's just like, so she would, this is what was irritating to me about her. There's a lot of things, but here's just this one. So we would hear the audio, okay? And then she would then she would be asked to explain what she meant by what she said. Okay, this is what I found profoundly ridiculous and annoying about that whole thing. You're recording. This is your words. Your mouth is speaking. You're not on Twitter, who has evidently upped your character limit. It used to be 150. That was your character limit.
Teresa, are you?
Is it doing it again?
Yes. Are you at NASCAR?
I'm driving really fast, and I wanted to have my window down. Apparently, all right, fine. I rolled it up again.
I can hear the engine
Yeah,
and everything.
You can hear that. Yeah, we can hear you hitting the gas, Leadfoot.
Jen's gonna be too nice to say it, but I will.
So
we were just talking about that backstage.
So that was annoying to me. Like it's not like it was a tweet where you only have 250 characters. Even text messages, you can write a whole novella if you want to. They don't even charge you extra for that. So why didn't you mean what you say and say what you meant? The other way around. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Why didn't you just say what you testified to directly to Johnny Depp? Why didn't you just do that?
Well, I think that the issue is she wouldn't be able to memorize her lines. She'd need an earpiece for somebody to feed it to her.
Correct.
And 2, I think during those conversations, I think she's high. So she doesn't remember what she actually said or what the hell she was talking about.
I want to know what that purple drink is.
She's probably like, what the hell was I talking about? I don't know.
What, Christine? What?
It's probably a cricket mollusk. That needs to be a drink. If I had a bar, I would have invented that already.
Why don't you invent it anyway and sell it to the bars?
And it's going to be purple. Cricket mollusk.
Because I feel like, you know what it looks like to me? It looks like this. My girlfriend is an avid gym rat. She's always at the gym, and she works out, and she used to give me this pre-workout drink, and it was like that color. That's what it looked like to me.
I wonder if it is like lean. You know how they got
like sipping codeine on some scissor.
Yeah.
The only thing
I wonder if she's a downer girl.
I don't know. She sure wasn't calm.
She sure is a downer.
She sure wasn't calm when she was testifying. I have never called myself a victim.
What?
She's like totally raged.
During her testimony, I'm literally like responding to her out loud in my garage, my poor neighbors. I'm like, what? This bitch. Just talking to myself. Sorry, Jen.
Oh, Alice is absolutely and completely done with Amber Heard. Absolutely.
I don't know.
Completely done with Amber Heard.
I am too. I mean,
you guys are my girlfriends, but then I have a girlfriend, another one that I don't even hang out with her anymore because she's back home in Texas, but she's the one that got me like being healthy about working out. So it not like working out and learning how to work out and eat correctly rather than working out and starving myself. Because
I wish that friend would come into my life. I feel like I'm ready for that point. Like well, people like really start talking about like getting serious and like eating healthy and like learning to cook and stuff.
Really good at it. Like she was certified to do it. And
I don't want that friend. I just want
she was great at it, and she'd be like, now Jen, she broke it all down. She would tell me about how many calories that I needed to eat, and not just how many calories, but the kinds of food, and how like she taught me how to figure out my optimal like heart rate or whatever for no macros. She wasn't an NK. Just like your heart rate to actually how fast for your height, your weight, your age, and all that. It has to beat for 20 minutes consecutively for it to really be considered cardio, yada, yada, yada. But that's not why we're here. We're here about Johnny Depp.
Well, I also want to know, did you used to do calisthenics, like with the chair and stuff? And
no.
the retard? Did you
No, but I did have a long time ago, like junior high school, that era. My mom ordered Richard Simmons' Sweat Into the Oldies, and I used to work out to that. Yeah, and then my sister
and then put your emo goth.
Yeah, well, after that, yeah, I was like toned to wear clothes that were two to three sizes too big. I don't even know why I was bothering, but then my sister and I used to work out to Tammy Lee Webb. She's the buns of steel, abs of steel.
I was just gonna say I love buns of steel.
And we used to make fun of her the way she says abdominals. She says addominals. So my sister and I were always joking about how sore our abdominals were. And
you guys know that Saturday Night Live skit with like the camel toe crunch or whatever it is?
Yes. Yeah, so that was, yeah.
I want to be for Halloween this year.
Those were the days. There's a lot of, but yeah, I wish I could play the closing arguments for you guys. I would like to play Camille's, but now it's getting late. But I'm not playing Rotten Borns. I'm still salty about that.
So okay, so I haven't got to hear your thoughts on the closing arguments. Can you share with me?
Absolutely. I'd love to share.
And then I have a topic to address. So let's do it in that order, please.
Okay.
Okay, go.
So what I thought about the closing arguments was I thought it was genius of Camille to go down the role of all of the people that testified in person for Johnny Depp.
Oh, I love that.
And particularly coming from like Ben King, coming from England, Kate Moss. But the thing that I thought was probably the most genius was when Ben Chu busted out the jury instructions and broke it down and explained them. I thought that was genius.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Rotten
Can I say
Board.
something real quick about Camille?
You can say stuff anytime.
Thank you. Thanks, Jen. I loved how she named every single witness and their credentials and was like, Amber Heard didn't want you to believe any of these witnesses that came out to talk about Johnny Depp and what his statements were and what they knew about it. And then she would listed everyone. He was the military. He worked for the Queen. And it was just like all these really impressive people that are his friends,
right? And long-term friends too. That she pointed that out too. I thought that was good.
Like you don't just not believe Johnny. You also don't believe Christy Dombrowski, this person and this person, this person and this person, this person and this person. And it was just like, yeah, damn.
She did when she said, this isn't a case of whether whether you believe Johnny Depp or Amber Heard. It's a case of whether you believe Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, Christine Dabrowski, whatever. And then she lists all of them. I was like, and it took a little while. I was like, hot damn.
Yes.
And then she does it again when they're talking about
everything
all
Amber
these people
said.
that are quote unquote on his payroll.
Oh.
And then she lists all the people that are not on his payroll.
Right.
And I was like, that is her. She's so Camille is like fire to me. She's just fucking hot. Like she's just so.
Yeah, she's a girl.
She just nails it every time. It's like, that's I want to be Camille when I grow up, like for reals, because she's really just she's so on it, and she's so sharp, and
I like how she said, like you can't, if you either believe all of Amber's stories or you believe none of them. Like she is either credible or not credible.
That was important. That was a key moment in the closing arguments, because after Rottenborn had finished with his closing argument, and Elaine didn't address the same things, and hers was really more about Amber's defamation lawsuit.
I just want to say, Elaine really seemed to waste a lot of time, in my opinion.
The whole time.
Rottenborn, which I don't even like that dude, he actually wasn't too bad the last couple days. And then today he did a decent job. And I don't even remember what he said, but I remember when he was doing it, like I was like, oh, he's doing a decent job. And then Elaine went up there and I was like, oh, damn. Like, what are we even talking about right now? What is she doing?
Rottenborn offended me the whole time. Everything he said was offensive to me.
Well,
but I just mean like lawyer wise, like he actually wasn't doing such a bad job in the closing.
I think that this is the difference, I think, between Rottenborn, Elaine, and Christine or Camille and Ben Chu. Sorry, Christine. I just like to throw your name in there for no reason. It's my middle name too.
I was there.
So yeah. But they're impassioned. See, it's one thing to have the knowledge of the law. I think all of them possess equal knowledge of the law, right? But it's in the way that they deliver it. And the thing is that you could tell they were really fighting for their client. Really, hate to use this word, advocating for their client.
Camille cried after that first day of cross-examination. Like,
yeah, some
people walk up to her and she just like, kind of crumpled a little bit. Like, I can imagine the nerves, and then just like like my stomach got angry for her. And like, and that watching them hug today, that little free hug, like it just must feel so good to be part of that team right now. They're very,
and they were 100% a team in every sense of the word. And I talked about this the other day, even down to their outfits. They all look similar, but the other side of the courtroom looked like one of these kids is doing his own thing. I mean, here we go with Elaine. Elaine, babe, Easter is over. Okay.
And it's very nice. It was her, Jen, it was her first ever trial. She was having a hard time with the microphone.
Bless her heart. I mean, it was too much. Elaine, please stop. Listen, you every time. And then the pastels it's one thing to wear pastels. It's another thing to pair the pastels with fucking black. Like you look like you're an Easter egg headed to a funeral. Everything is black, and then you throw on a pastel blazer. Stop it. Which I know is petty and beside the point, but it does. Look, there's there's cameras in the courtroom. I cannot help that my eyes work and I notice things. It's not my fault.
Blazers that like went down to like the bottom of her middle finger, like
bless her little heart.
Where are you? What?
Bless her little heart. And then this is the thing, though. Even when she was attempting at advocating, pleading, because that's really what a closing argument is. It is your last appeal, your last plea to the jury. There was emotion there, but it wasn't emotion on behalf of Amber Heard, as if she really believed that Amber Heard was this victim of this
Mhm.
system that protects powerful, wealthy men, and that she was the David to Johnny Depp's Goliath.
Mhm.
That isn't. She had like a bootleg Aaron Brockovich moment. That's what it felt like. You know, like
She was
if,
Aunt Diane with a degree, a law degree. Like, I'm
like if
sorry.
Aaron
She
Brockovich,
belongs
if
there.
Aaron Brockovich didn't believe that what is it, hexane, whatever the fuck it was, 13 T27 or whatever it was. What is that? T something is from that's Umbrella Corporation. That's a whole different that's a different genre. That turns people into zombies. It's completely different. But yeah, whatever the hell that was, like she didn't care if they drank the water or whatever. That's how Elaine was. She was just it was hollow. And the
You know
points
what?
that she
Oh,
made
sorry, go ahead.
were trash. So okay, go
Mhm.
ahead.
So I was gonna say, like, if Michelle was still in here, which everybody, it's Michelle's birthday, so happy birthday to
Happy
Michelle.
birthday, Michelle.
She might be gone by now. I don't see her, but
I saw her just a second ago.
we had been talking about our aunt Diane's, right, a few weeks ago, and Elaine
Like your
was
literal Aunt Diane or the
like,
movie Whatever Happened to Aunt
no,
Diane?
like, everybody has that Aunt Diane that is just, you know, too nosy and too loud and, always willing to get in
Oh.
the mix and stuff. And I'm like, that is just, she's Aunt Diane in court. So I just wanted to.
I
My
feel like
favorite
I'm probably Aunt Diane to my nieces and nephews.
I can tell you I'm definitely not Aunt Diane to my
I'm
nephews.
not.
My nephews would invite me to the slumber party. They think I'm cool, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out. My own kids are like, "Are you kidding me? She's the worst." But my nephews are like, I would trade your mom for my mom, who also is my sister. So it's kind of messed up because there's part of me that wants to stick up for her because hello, that's my sister.
But
Then
no, it's way cooler that they trade you.
correct, exactly.
I've heard a lot of people talking about like the Johnny's like lawyers are just outclassing them. I just wanted to like make a point to that train of thought is that how many times did Camille or Ben or anybody say, and look at Amber Heard over there snickering? I can specifically remember like one or two, like when she was. But I mean, I feel like that was like part of their argument that see Johnny Depp over there doodling or laughing or sleeping or like, I just feel like they were always like
taking the low blow.
Yeah, like the low blow. And like, that's not evidence.
There was always shade to anything that they rather than attack a witness, the content of their testimony, they refer to Stephen Deuters not as Johnny Depp's personal assistant. Oh no, his drug buddy.
Oh yeah, God, just like
and according to Elaine, who is the only person in this trial we know for sure, for a fact, who stood in line to meet a celebrity, it just happened to be Johnny Depp. Meanwhile, is pointing her finger at everybody. You just wanted to be on TV, didn't you? You just wanted your 15 minutes of fame. Get the fuck out of here, Elaine.
Stephen Deuters has a defamation case.
What's that?
I said, I'm pretty sure Stephen Deuters has a defamation case.
I'm pretty sure he does as well. And by the way, Elaine, nobody fucking watches TV. All right. If they want to do anything, they want to make it big on Tickety Talk or they want to make it big on the YouTubes. Nobody watches TV.
That the guy looks like one of those like dolls that like those porcelain dolls that talk.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yes, dolls scare me. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought that I was watching like a cartoon of like when I saw it, I thought it was like a animation of the trial, and I had to like look a little bit closer. Like his porcelain skin or whatever. Like his makeup artist is on point.
Yes. Yeah, and his hairstylist was on point as well. Amber Heard, take note. Get some toner for your listen. I know you got that 7 million drawing interest and squirreled away somewhere. Take yo ass to Sally's and get you some toner, girl. That hair is too brassy, ma'am.
She looked like the Jetsons' mom. It wasn't Judy Jetson. It was the Jetson mom.
Oh, Jane, his
Judy
wife.
Yeah. Jane Jetson.
Jane, yeah. Judy is the daughter. Judy and Elroy, and Astro's the dog. Of course, I know that, Mr. Spacely.
What do you think about Johnny's team dropping candy over on the Amber's team's desks?
I thought it was the perfect amount of shade. I'm tired of their shit
Like
too.
if they eat it, they're narcissists.
They
Right.
were all the
Here's our
orange
narcissist
Starburst.
candy. Yeah,
Here, you guys can have our orange Starburst.
That's what I would give him. If it had been me, I would have given him the orange Starburst or a bag full of the. Well,
These ones.
Finally, Skittles has finally heard my campaign on social media, which is just me talking on this channel about how much I loathe green apple lime. The green apple, they replaced the lime with green apple in the original Skittles. That's been my campaign, but they fixed it. They put it back. It's back to lime. But if it was,
I didn't even know there was an issue with the green Skittle.
I don't care for it. Well, they didn't announce that there was a new flavor. So, like 5 or 6 years ago, when my youngest still trick or treated, I swiped a bag of Skittles from her trick or treat bag, and I popped a green one in my mouth, and much to my horror and disdain, instead of finding lime, I found disappointment, which was because it's a green apple.
You're seriously
the Harry
those
Potter
that eat them by color? Are you a Skittle? You eat your Skittles by color? Like they all taste the same to me because I throw the whole dang handful in my mouth.
My palate is more sophisticated than yours. You should try eating them by color. There's a distinct different flavor to them, and believe me, lime and green apple do not taste the same. And I was ever since then.
My daughter is totally agreeing with you right now, Jen. By the way. She's saying you have to take one at a time.
You do. You can eat 2 at a time, but it has to be 2 of the same color. Like you can eat 2 purple at a time.
He literally just said that too. It's so weird. You know what I really like is a red Starburst and a pink Starburst at the same time.
Now that's okay, but Skittles are different. So
they're not though. You just put them in your mouth and you eat them.
No, no, you do not. You do not.
No.
But that's completely, I can't even believe those words just came out of your mouth in that order. I'm just flabbergasted at that.
You know what I'm gonna do next time I'm live? I'm gonna take a Skittles. I'm just gonna eat them all. I'm just gonna start pouring them from the bag.
And you will be able to hear my soul die all the way over here in Florida.
My daughter wants to come stay with you now because you eat your Skittles.
Of course, all kids want to come and stay with me because I'm the freaking coolest. I think we offended Christine with our Skittles talk. She'll be back. But anyway,
it had to have been you. She must eat Skittles all the way, like I do.
But yeah,
they offended Christine.
I feel like they gave her. I feel like they walked over to that table and gave him the orange narcissistic candy. That was so funny. Yes, all the gross ones. If it had been me, I would have given him the green apple. I used to do that to my husband. I would pick out the green ones and put them in a little sandwich bag and just go give him, here's all my greens. I don't want them.
So ridiculous. I also really like green apple, so I'm not really sure what the issue would be.
I don't like it, and it doesn't. It doesn't go with that flavor palette.
Okay, well, what about like the berry ones? Do you eat those?
I do.
You can't. You eat them one by one still?
Yes, of course, because they have different.
This is ridiculous. This is so time consuming.
Well, I also separate my gummy bears. Does your daughter separate her gummy bears too, or do you? Or you probably don't, Teresa. You probably just.
I just grab a handful and eat them.
And you grab a handful and throw caution to the wind.
I am. I'm like Johnny Depp. I just dumped the whole baggie in my mouth.
That explains your rampages. You're a monster. Yeah, but no.
Sugar Beet eats the ones they don't like first, then the good ones are last.
That's what I do. The red Skittles are the Skittles I eat last. And I said today that I would share my gummy bears with Johnny Depp, but I would not share the clear Haribo gummy bears because that's pineapple flavor. And the pineapple ones are my favorite. And a girl's got to keep a little for herself. So Johnny, I'll share everything with you except for the pineapple flavored Haribo gummy bears. I'm sorry.
I
It's the
don't.
way it has to be.
I'll just mix them all with the other ones.
It's the way it has to be. Go with Teresa. She's willy-nilly and don't give a fuck.
That's so funny to me that you are you eat them one at a time. Are you somebody who, when you eat dinner and you have like different foods on your plate, do you eat the entire one thing
No.
first and then eat the next one?
No.
Do you do like one and then the next one and then the third one and then back to the first one and then back to the second one?
It depends on what I'm eating, how I eat them. But I don't ever put like, if I take a bite, it's of one type of the food. Like I don't put it together.
Yeah. What about at Thanksgiving?
No.
I don't really put food together either.
And I will say this, when I have Thanksgiving dinner, the cranberry, and I only like jellied cranberry, gets its own plate because it leaks, and I don't want it. I like the jelly cranberry sauce, but I don't want it to touch the other food, so it gets its own plate.
Yeah, at Thanksgiving everything gets mixed together. I mean,
No.
well, not everything, but like mashed potatoes and I don't know.
Isn't that just like a shepherd's pie then? And I don't like that stuff. I don't like all my food all mixed up like that.
Neither do I. Even though I don't give a rat's fat kneecap that it's going to end up mixed. That's not the point. In my tummy, it's going to mix. But before it gets to my tummy, it will be separate. That's how I like it. But I wouldn't go and like if I was having fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and coleslaw, I wouldn't eat all of the fried chicken and then eat the mashed potatoes and then eat the coleslaw. I would eat a little bit of each, but each bite that's on the fork is one food at a time. I don't be putting the coleslaw and the mashed potatoes together. I'm not a savage.
So this really matters. I need to know this.
Okay.
For the taste. Would you ever order like the bowl from KFC? How you can make your own bowl?
No. No, my son likes the bowl. I don't like the bowl.
Yeah, my
I
husband
like
likes
them to
that
be
stuff.
separate.
I'm not doing that.
I do too.
I don't want it. I don't want it mushed together. That's wrong.
Oh, well.
It's wrong. It's just wrong. Just wrong.
Never mind then, guys. Never mind. Cancel that Thanksgiving. Shucks.
You're having
I do have some weird food issues. I'm not even going to lie. Like today, my daughter called me and she video chatted with me, and I was video chatting with my granddaughter. Right. And I let my daughter go. This is my daughter, you guys. I've raised her. Okay. And I let her go so that I could eat because I didn't want to be on camera eating. And she's like, Mom, why are you, she's like, are you ever going to let go of your weird food issues? And I said, no. Are you ever going to let go of some of the weird issues that you have? She's like, no. And I said, all right, I don't judge you. You don't judge me. I have weird food issues. Just leave me alone. It is what it is.
I'd probably be that same way, but I'm still not comfortable with FaceTime because I'm like only like a new like iPhone user. And like, I don't really even like seeing people in person.
But I don't
want to watch people eat.
Neither
it bothers me a lot. Like I can't stand it in movies when people are like eating and then they're like talking while they're eating and you can like see and hear the
I don't.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
The noise thing. I don't like ASMR. Like I will like run screaming from like a YouTube ASMR channel. Like do not.
I don't like
that microphone.
I don't like that stuff either. And I have a fundamental disdain for. Okay, I like the theory of a buffet. What I don't like is going to a buffet and watching people eat. Even if, obviously I'm going to be eating, but hello, I can't help your eyes. I can't, it grosses me out. I don't like to watch people eat, and I don't like for people to see me to eat. Even though I went
potluck.
If there was a potluck, I would probably be polite and make myself a plate and push the food around and make it look like I was eating without actually eating.
You guys cancel Saturday too, okay?
you would probably mash all your food together.
I'd be like, come on,
in
guys.
an uncivilized way.
Right. And me and Teresa would be like, girl, look at Christine. Look what the fuck she's doing. Let's get the fuck out of here. No. I don't judge other people. It's just that
I judge other people.
Quietly, I do.
Yeah.
I don't tell them judging them. I judge them silently. Like everybody
will
has.
feel,
I judge them with my friends.
I promise if we ever meet in person, Jen, I will feel very awkward eating around you right away.
It's my issue though. Like I don't have. I don't. I understand that other people don't have the same food issues that I do, and so I try not to make it a big deal. I try to just pretend like everything is fine, and I will make you laugh so much that you won't even be paying attention to the fact that I'm not eating. It took people like really close friends of mine, it took them a long time to realize that I wasn't eating at the dinner table with them.
Well, I never liked like going to like big family dinners at restaurants and stuff anyway. Like I always felt like really trapped in that stupid chair. I don't want to watch you guys eat. I'm like, we gotta do something else. Like this is like now we're stuck here. We can't get our own water.
Yeah, but plus the thing is that like when I cook, if I were to cook when I cook a big Thanksgiving meal, by the time I'm done with it, I've been around food the whole day, and the last thing I want to do is touch it. So I usually wait till the next day, and then I mean I'll eat a little bit of Thanksgiving, but I'm not really that hungry. I'm telling you guys, I have really weird food issues, but I try to keep them to myself, and I try to make them not noticeable. If I never told you about all my weird food issues, you would never notice. Nobody really notices. I can keep it on the low.
It's not a good idea for you to start counting macros. I'll just give you something else like.
Oh yeah, I'm not. That's math.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm good at math, but I don't really like. Yeah, I just don't listen. There are certain foods that I really really enjoy. Right, like I love snacks. Any kind of snacks.
That's the first thing I learned about you.
All the snacks, right?
Like the first thing, yeah,
Because it's not
alive, and like that was the first discussion.
Because it's not a big commitment. I like to pick, is what it is. Mm-hmm.
I think you listed like 8 things.
Yeah, sitting down to a full scale meal is too much pressure for me. I want to just be able to pick. And I've always been like that. My mom was like that. Both of my oldest daughter is like that. We're like to pick. And so that's just the way that's why I like snacks, because snacks are small size, right? And it looks like you actually ate a lot, but because you finished it, but you didn't actually, it lets you pick. And that's what I like to do. So whatever. I wouldn't
remember what trial that was, because I so specifically remember that, like being in that.
Probably Ezra.
The first time.
Probably Ezra.
No, I think it was before that.
So before Ezra, with that Todd Molis, maybe?
Yes. It probably was that one. I don't think I talked much in that one. But I definitely was feeling the tribe out, and now we're just all homies. So
yeah, you found your people.
I have.
I just like snacks. It is what it is.
So now we're home now, and so now my daughter's having this whole conversation with everybody in the household about how they eat their Skittles.
Okay, what's the verdict?
So my oldest and my husband eat Skittles like I do.
Oh my
so
God,
wrong.
Hold on.
I told her, I'm like, well, we probably need to find your real mom and dad, the ones that you get that from.
Well, she's more than welcome to come and stay with Aunt Jen. Everybody's welcome at Aunt Jen's house.
Now that she found out that her whole family's crazy and we all just eat Skittles by the handful.
Skittles, do you do a whole handful of all the colors, or do you eat them one color at a time? One color at a time?
I have to hop off, so I have to go watch TV with the family, birthday husband's home and stuff, all that fun stuff.
We'll go bond with your fam.
Oh, yeah.
Keep eating your Skittles wrong.
Now I really want to Skittles. I don't have any.
I really want you to try it. Thank you. I would like for you to just try my way. Try eating one flavor at a time.
Eating one at a time. It just seems so boring and it's so time consuming. I don't have time for that.
You got to take time to enjoy the little things, Teresa.
Right. I was like, it just makes it so that you can savor them.
She's right.
You can go live with her. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for letting me come up.
Bye.
Anytime, babe. Bye.
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 Okay, I just seriously had one actual trial point thing to say, and then you must be exhausted. Do you even want me to go into it?
No, I do actually want you to go into it. And guess what? You're going to come outside with me because I'm going to go have a cigarette. I think I've earned it.
Yeah, you have, and I'm in my garage having this mode too. So, okay, so you were talking. I forget what you were talking about today, and
I talked about a fuck ton.
yeah, a lot. But you
A
were
lot.
making a certain point, and I was like, oh man, this reminds me of something. I'm gonna write it down, and I did, and so now I have it.
Oh, good. Oh, you wrote it down. Good for
Yeah,
you.
I
I'm
did
proud.
write it down.
You were committed. I'm proud of you.
I was. I wrote it like on an envelope that was just by me. That's on both sides.
Damn.
So let's see. We were talking about. I don't know where, but these are what my notes are about. So I guess I have to tell like a little bit backstory. So Johnny, like being like going through the withdrawal, I think we were talking about like she wasn't being like much of a team, like she's not like a partner person. Like
She was being an obstacle.
Yeah, right, exactly. She's like she's not a team player or like a partner, and I don't think that she can like I don't think she has the ability to like be in that kind of like domestic partnership, like where it's like a give and take, you know?
Well, right. She's got to be the center of everything. It's fine for him to, it's fine for her to be taken care of, but she can't reciprocate and take care of the other person. She doesn't understand that in sickness and in health applies to the other person too, not just
Right,
her.
yeah. And like so I'm like little personal backstory, just real quickly, just bullet point. My husband, you know, struggled with addiction, and I specifically remember he never stopped fighting, and there was one time that he was going to a rehab, but they couldn't take him for like so many days. And in that meantime, it is a medical necessity that they maintain, or that, you know, they could go into like a health crisis,
right?
Like a medical emergency. And I remember being in that like really terrible position of like driving him somewhere to get what he needed to maintain, or refusing and him being in danger, like medically, or there was like the rehab was going to take him, but not for like, I think 5 days maybe, you know? And so I was just in that really terrible like position, and it was terrible to be in that position. And, you know, and in the long run, like I just did what I had to do for my husband to get him there. You know, like I couldn't help him the help that he really ultimately needed. So we did what we had to do to get him there. And, you know, we were blessed to have made it through, you know, made it through. It was a risky situation to even be in. And so like, I was thinking like, God forbid that like Johnny Depp had succumbed to his illness of addiction. She would have milked that tragedy like so Courtney hard, Love? You know. Yeah, she would have, you know, been the grieving widow, right? You know, and she would have played that part, and, you know, taken it to the bank, and she probably would have wrote an op-ed about it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like she would. But she is just who she is, and that's kind of it's a bad person, you know. And like Johnny Depp is famous, and he is rich, and he has resources and connections, and like thankfully he made it out of that situation that is not just an unrecognized situation. It's not very understood. It's not socially acceptable. There's a lot of stigma just around addiction, and to be a man that's being abused in that way, like in recovery, it's just not something that we acknowledge, you know, like we don't, not yet anyway, I think. And no. I just really hope that we're on the brink of that it's not like believe her every time, believe victims every, you know, believe the victims, you know, the real victims. But I was thinking like how many, God rest their souls, men, because her ultimate goal was to make him shut up and stay married to her and put up with it. Like that was her addiction, manipulating him and starting the fights and winning the fights and winning, you know, and breaking that horse. That was like her bad habit, her addiction. Right. And he had an addiction. And how many men, not with the resources that he did, have succumbed to that? Like not been able to get out and stayed with that woman, or succumbed to addiction because their partner wasn't a team player or selfish, and like how many men being abused have lost their lives quietly behind
Makes
the
you
scenes?
wonder. Doesn't it make you
Yeah, and
wonder?
it's just really like, and these are like could be regular men, like, and like don't like I don't look down on any person in recovery ever. Being in recovery is a hard thing to do.
It's very
Never
difficult.
giving up the fight, you know, like
It's a
never stop
daily,
fighting.
it's a choice that you make every single day, whether you're gonna
Absolutely. And
use or not, and
my
that's
husband
important.
passed away, and I don't
Oh,
share it a lot, and like I don't know how many people like actually like really even understand this about me, but my husband passed away. He had come home from rehab and he was doing great.
mhm.
And
I'm sorry about your husband,
he was
by the way.
thank you. He was working his program and he was meeting, and you know, and if he had struggled again, we would have done rehab again. He didn't ever stop fighting, but he relapsed. And in that relapse, he overestimated what he could handle, you know, and that
Mhm.
was the last tragic time. And
Yeah.
at the time, I was 8 months pregnant,
Oh,
and
wow, I'm so sorry.
it was almost, thank you, Jen. It was almost like people felt bad for me, but like in a
Judgy
different
way?
kind of way. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Like it was like, well, how? Oh no, how'd you lose your husband? Was it like a tragic accident? Was it a car accident? Was it a work tragedy? And it was like, you know, it was an overdose after a relapse, and it was just like a whole different
Like he
feel bad for me.
deserves less
Yeah, like he did. Yes,
because
like he
he
what? Oh
because
well,
he
that
didn't
didn't really count
right, because
or
like
something.
he brought it on
Hmm.
himself. That's how
Hmm.
people
And
feel
it
about
wasn't
that.
not a choice. It was not a
No, it
choice for him to be an
wasn't.
addict, but it was also not he. It was his choice to never stop fighting. Like he did relapse. We would, and if he had relapsed again, we would have. I was married for 10 years. I married my high school sweetheart. He was my soulmate.
Aw.
He still is. I cherish his memory. I love talking about him. Don't feel like I'm like feeling bad for myself right now. I love talking about my husband. He was an amazing man, and he was the love of my life. And um, you know, unfortunately, in that day and age, I had a surgery, and that's where like the pain pills got introduced into our
Mhm.
dynamic, and
Mhm.
and
I can
it
relate.
at that time, doctors were just like flinging it around like candy. You know, like it is not an easy thing to overcome. I did overcome it.
I did too.
Um,
I had a back surgery and got prescribed hydrocodone, and
right.
you become addicted to it, dependent on it because of the compound that it is. I mean, it's an opiate. It's habit
Mhm.
forming. It's
And the doctors
addicting.
gave you 90 or 120 every month. Or if that
Mhm.
wasn't working anymore, they would give you Percocet. If that wasn't working, Oxy. And when that was too expensive or you lost your insurance, you had to do heroin. Like, you know, there was just like,
That yeah. That
it
was
was just a
never
bad
me.
cycle.
It's a hard cycle because what people don't realize is what comes with withdrawal from prescription because your dealer is your doctor. That's the truth.
Right.
And it doesn't your body is natural it's going to naturally become dependent on a pain medication because of what they are, their chemical
Mm-hmm.
makeup. There's a difference between, but it doesn't take long between dependency, which is your body doing it and you don't realize it, and
And the need,
abuse.
like, you have to have that now
Right,
to feel at a normal
right. And
and to
but
feel ever happy. You have to, you know,
exactly,
it's,
because the sick is bad. People don't
it's an
understand.
epidemic. Like it is
It
terrible. Like
it
people drop like flies. Watch those body cams. Like
oh,
people are
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
it is terrible. And so like, sorry, Jen, I don't want to cut you off, but like, I just really want to make this point about it because
Okay.
this really got to me today. But like, these are men that are husbands. I
Mhm.
was 8 months pregnant with our second child. He never met. And these are husbands. These are workers. These are community members. It might be undercover that they have this problem. They don't want to talk about it. But to imagine a man that's being abused on top of it and then getting out of it, like the gigantuan strength that is Johnny Depp. I agree. I'm so proud of him also. He's paving the way right now, I think, for a lot of men that like could otherwise die. You know, like what's their other choice but to be quiet and, you know, listen to their abuser. And I mean, you can
Well,
only do
right.
that for so long before an addict will accidentally overdose. Like, it's dangerous. And these are men that, like, you might know at, you might see them dropping off kids, you might see them at work. Like, they are contributing members of society, and like, they matter too.
Right. Exactly.
My husband mattered. My
Yes.
husband mattered just as much as any other husband mattered. And like, he is dearly missed and everything. And they matter. It just they matter.
They matter. And you're right. This is an important topic. What Johnny Depp in this trial represents is a part of the population that has been marginalized in many, many ways. Because I will say this, one of the people that I follow on YouTube that nobody knows about, it's my secret person that I follow, is Boogie, and he has numbers after his name. I can't remember I'll look it up real quick. But he does a character called Francis. Okay. And he's been on YouTube forever. And I don't remember how I found him, but he did a live or a video the other day. And he is a man who was the victim of domestic abuse. And I found his commentary to be so profound because he had resisted commenting on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. First of all, his YouTube channel is more like he talks about gaming and stuff like that. And it's Boogie 2988. That's what it is. And anyway, but he was talking about it, and he said that when he told anybody about his story, because he used to be incredibly overweight. He had weight loss surgery, and but when he would tell people about his abuse, people would look at him like he's crazy. You're so much bigger than her. How can she be the one abusing you? And he put it real simply, because as men, when we're raised, the way that men are brought up as boys, the way that boys are taught is that you never hit a girl. They don't tell you what to do if a girl, other than to walk away. But they don't we don't, as a society, as parents, talk to our boys enough. We talk to them about when a girl says no, no means no, or anybody says no, no means no, right? That's what we teach our boys. We teach our boys not to hit girls, but we don't teach them what to do if they're the recipients of abuse. And that has to change. And it is something that, and as we can see from Johnny Depp, it is a cycle. The truth of the matter is, he married his mother. That's how he grew up. And you don't realize the dysfunction that you were raised with until you realize it. It's how something like this happens. And I think that when Johnny Depp brought this lawsuit against Amber Heard, he had everything to lose and nothing to gain, because in the beginning stages of her first coming out about these allegations of abuse, she was believed. And he was fired from jobs. Let's be honest, he was. I don't care what they say about Pirates of the Caribbean 6. They can keep bringing that up until the cows come home. But the truth of the matter is, even if you don't believe whatever about Pirates of the Caribbean 6, he was definitely let go from the Fantastic Beasts franchise because of the allegations, period.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't focus on that more.
Know.
I don't think they could get anybody to testify, I think, or talk about it.
Didn't J.K. Rowling almost even insinuate that?
She did. She did. She did make a statement, but I don't think that they could get anybody that was willing to come to court and or even take a deposition. I mean, because it's kind of like when Mr. Hamada testified from Warner Brothers. These are conversations that are had there. It's not like there's an HR department. There is, but it's not like after you wrap a movie there's the person from HR goes around to each person in the cast and then production, et cetera, for an exit interview, right? These are just verbal conversations, and they're not really documented. So it's just the way Hollywood is, and that's the way it's
And
always
also,
been.
I mean, can you just refuse a civil subpoena? Or
And
like,
it
is
depends
that
on what state you're in. In Virginia, which is where they decided to have this trial, you cannot you in that state you cannot be compelled to testify, which is a subpoena. So they
right?
can't make you testify. So that's the way that
Mm-hmm.
state does it. So, but there are other states that if you are served a subpoena, you are served. You have to show up, or they issue a bench warrant. You can be compelled, but in Virginia, you cannot be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but anyway, we don't teach our sons. We teach our girls, we teach our daughters all about abuse and how, and that we do. We have different conversations with our girls than we have with our boys. And that's just the truth. And that needs to stop. We need to have the same conversations with our sons that we have with our daughters. They deserve to know that it can happen. They can be the victims of domestic violence, and that it doesn't make them less of a man. Walking away doesn't make you less of a man. Amber Heard. Walking away does not make you a coward. And again, I go back to the highly inflammatory, despicable emotional manipulation that was Rottenborn's closing arguments today.
Yeah, really offensive.
It will send a message to domestic violence victims. No, it won't. What it will do is it will send a message to anybody who wants to raise false allegations of abuse, whether it's SA or DV, either one, that you cannot go and ruin somebody's reputation. Because the thing is, the difference between this with Amber, these were all allegations. She didn't actually press criminal charges, but there are women who go the extra mile and do. And this was my other question that I had today, and I want to say this before I forget. Christine, why do I keep wanting to call her? Because I'm looking at the screen. Elaine continued to drive home the point that Amber did not call the police. She didn't want to have anything to do with the police. But then why were they called not once but twice? I could understand Io being on the other end of the phone and panicking and call. I'm not saying that's what happened, but let's say it is. I think he is one of the people who called, right? And if he's the first person who called, the first 911 call, he hears this ruckus on the other end of the phone, okay? And he may, it is what it is. He called because he was worried for his friend, whatever. He called, right? But what? But if they didn't want to have anything to do with the police, and Amber was doing what Elaine set forth, which was trying to avoid getting Johnny Depp in trouble and all, then why were the police called a second time hours later? I'll tell you why. That was part of the setup. It was Amber intentionally decided not to cooperate with the police, knowing what the fucking law is. The law is the victim doesn't have to cooperate in order for there to be a charge and a prosecution for domestic violence. They don't need the victim.
Right.
But because the cops didn't see what she wanted them to see, that's why they had to call them back.
Right.
Period. And that's the truth. That is the truth. There is everything about those pictures from that day.
Today was the first day I saw the picture of her sitting on the bench outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally shocked that she...
You want to know what she looks like in that picture to me? I'm just going to say it. No, I'm sure everybody else is thinking it. No, you know what it looks, well, yeah, but you know what it looks like to me? She looks dope sick.
Oh, yeah.
She looks like
She looks
she
like her pallor and her
yes, she
sunken.
looks like she's been doing not pills, not prescription drugs. That gives you a different pallor.
Yeah.
Illegal drugs.
Right. I agree.
And this is the other thing that I was thinking about also with respect to Amber Heard. The irony of it all is that I do believe that she wanted to break Johnny Depp. I don't think it's specific to him. I think that she takes pleasure in just seeing if she can. And once she has accomplished the breaking, the irony is she actually loses respect. I've seen this with lots of women, and and I don't mean in a physical sense. I'm talking about where they emotionally
I've seen it in like a lesser way, like they like play games.
and where like they emasculate their husband, and their husband finally becomes the doormat that he thinks that his wife wants him to be. And then she resents the shit out of him for being a doormat. And that's the situation as I see it with Amber Heard. And I think she was opportunistic. I said it earlier today. I do not think that she set out to become a domestic violence victim or raise raise these claims. This is what I think happened. I think she got with Johnny Depp. I think he met her representative. And I think that after she had her hooks into him, and she could see how the relationship was going to end, that it was even though we married her, it wasn't going to last, that the fights and her attempts at control and the games that she played were going to go the way in every relationship Amber Heard has ever had, whether it was romantic or platonic. They all end up leaving her. And so this time Amber wasn't going to be left with nothing. Right. So she became opportunistic. She took advantage of the times when Johnny Depp was on the nod, and she took photos of him. And there are photos of him that are sleeping, but there's also photos of him. And if you've ever used, you know the difference between somebody asleep and somebody passed out because they're on the pills, period. It's just the truth. And there are pictures of him like that. And he's admitted that he's on the nod, especially that ice cream picture. That is an on the nod picture. All right. That's passed out. That's not asleep. And she took advantage of that. And she began over time compiling evidence and documenting, because that's the thing. One of the things,
it's like blackmail.
one of the things that women are taught, and this is just the truth, is that when you're going through domestic violence, you document. They tell you that. And that's exactly what she did, except for the fact there was no domestic violence. She set scenes. She staged scenes. Nothing.
I don't think it's unreasonable at all for Camille to have asked her, but you didn't take a picture of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You took a picture of shit
I'm not asking for your revenge porn. I'm asking for a picture of the bruise that you had on, Well,
you took pictures of the floor. You took those 3 or 4 pictures of the floor. You took pictures on a bed, but you didn't look, I'll give you one example and prime example. In Australia, you took a picture of a mirror, and yet you purposely and intentionally avoided capturing your own image in the reflection of that mirror. Period.
And then she said, well, I don't see him in the mirror either. And Camille was like, he's not suing Johnny
He's
Depp.
also not the one that's taking the picture. Amber. Ambular. So that's what I hope will be the outcome from this trial moving forward long term. Is I think Johnny Depp set out to accomplish what he set out to do. This trial wasn't actually about Johnny Depp collecting real monetary damages from Amber Heard, because even if he wins, what he's paid,
to send her to collections,
right. But what he has spent on this trial and also the one in the UK, he's never going to recoup that money or even break even. She doesn't have it. That's just the truth. Plus, even if they did award him damages, what he has spent far outweighs whatever they would award him in damages, because they're not going to award him 50 million. That's ludicrous. They would maybe award 50 million to a regular person like us, but not Johnny Depp. I mean, that's ridiculous. They're never going to do that. This was about exactly what he said. It was about clearing his name in the public. It was about an opportunity to tell his story. And if I'm sorry that Elaine and Rottenborn don't want to be honest about how a trial like this would work in the UK, where you don't you are not you there's no direct questioning from your lawyers. It's all cross-examination. So of course the way the questions are asked, the actual questions themselves, it's all cross-examination. We've seen what that looks like. That's what the UK trial was like. So it isn't his story. You only are able to really give your story under in the court in the United States under direct examination. That is your time to excuse me, I didn't mean to burp. That's your time to tell your story. And that he didn't have that in the UK. So he was telling the truth. And that's what he wanted. He wanted to clear his name in the court of public opinion and in Hollywood. And he has really
like long-term outcomes of this. I see a few different long-term benefits of this whole thing that he has financed and fought, and one of them being that the Amber Heards of the world really give themselves another chance to take another thought at that, you know what, maybe this is not the best idea. I can be held accountable for this. And
right,
there's a lot of Amber Heards out there probably that get away with this shit.
Yes,
it's not
there
okay.
are.
Just because somebody doesn't want to be with you, it's not okay. Get a dog and move on. Do a hobby. I don't know. You cannot control. You can't break people. I don't know. I feel real not invested, but I feel very strongly about this whole thing.
I feel strongly about the subject matter, absolutely, because I think that for a long time now, to be quite frank, as a society, we have been failing our sons.
Right.
We don't prepare them in the same way for life, in the same way that we prepare our girls. And I think we're doing them a disservice. And what I would like the outcome, we cannot go back in time and undo what was done in this situation. The best way, I think, is to right a wrong in a situation like this is to break the cycle. And one of the ways that we can do that is by teaching our sons and equipping our sons in the same way that we teach and equip our girls. We need to have open, frank conversations with our boys the same way that we have with our girls.
Gender equality has a large gaping black mass.
It does.
On this area right now. And I mean, we can't, be pro gender equality and choice and pro this and this and that and still not believe and still not hold women accountable for abusing in an equal way,
Correct.
Women
if you
held accountable as men.
Right. If you want gender equality, the knife slices both ways.
Yeah, this is easy for people that have morals and common sense. This is not a hard thing to grasp for but some people just don't get that.
They don't. And I think, what I hope from this is that we as a society we've all heard the salaciousness of it. We've all heard, I myself have made videos and I've made light of some of the testimony, but I think that moving forward, We need to learn, we need to take the lessons from this trial so that we can educate everyone moving forward, so that it's not, we're not going to prevent something like this from happening again, because you can't really control humans that way. However, we can stop it. If we can stop it from happening to one person, we've done a good thing. So, and I just think moving forward, we need to change as a society. We need to change the way we view who is a victim.
And like the TMZ lawyer that went in there to like, they were citing like Supreme Court things about, I mean, this is like big, like what, and TMZ, were you really trying to stop this reporter from offering, testimony?
I think that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
About something so needed to be testimonied to, like.
I think what they were trying to block is not so much the truth, but in order for them to get to the truth, he was going to have to testify to the way that TMZ does things. And I think that's what they didn't want out. How they get their news, how they get their tips, and when they get the tips, what do they do? What do they do? Because see, the thing about TMZ is it is considered media, okay? And there have been tons of reporters who refuse to give up their source and have been like, given sent, contempt of court, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it was ruled that they don't have to give up their source. And I think that that's what TMZ's argument is that if he testifies, it's essentially exposing a source, which will then cause us to lose sources. But I think that's why they were fighting so hard. But I think ultimately when they actually hear or heard his testimony, what they will realize is that he did it in a way that only pertained to this specific case, and he actually didn't give out any names. He didn't list sources.
I think that he was just trying to like clarify misrepresentation, like on like this is what TMZ did, like
right.
Hold on, that's being misrepresented. Like, this is what we did.
Exactly. And Smalls, yes. So this is what happened. The guy, the reporter the gentleman that testified, what he said was he gave a rundown essentially of his job functions, and really all he was a paparazzi dispatcher, if you will. But he received an email, and he says it's an anonymous email. Don't be ridiculous. Literally every email is anonymous unless you have no idea. If I emailed you with my full government name, you have no way of knowing that that's my full government name, right? But I digress. He said it was from an anonymous email, and in the email was a link to a Dropbox. And when he clicked the Dropbox link, that was the link to the video. But then he explained how their copyright process works. So they would have looked at the video, and before they could ever even think about airing the video, they have to track down the owner of the video. And if they can't track down the original owner of the video, they have to verify with the person who sent them the video that they're the people that own the copyright. So if you think about it this way, Amber could be telling the truth in that she is not the person who actually sent the link to the video because she was in another country. What I think she did is I think that she gave it to somebody else, and she gave them the copyright, which then they sent it to TMZ, which is why the vetting process for who was the copyright owner was so short, because they were emailed by the copyright owner. But at the end of the day, that video was taken from Amber Heard's phone. She is the only person who could have distributed that video to anybody, including TMZ. And that's where it comes back to. They did it. Somebody did it. I do not think that she did it directly. I believe wholeheartedly that she had somebody do it on her behalf. Absolutely. Morgan Tremaine. Thank you, Vincent Sear.
I loved it when she slipped up on her, like, in her little anger fit, and she was like, she said, if I wanted to lick it, I would have got more than that, or more exposure. And then Camille was like, I thought you said you didn't want to do that.
Right, exactly. And by the way, Amber Heard, you're sitting on a mountain of evidence. Well, where is it, girl? Because I didn't see. I mean, yeah, I saw what you think is evidence that is not that's not evidence. That was my problem with her, is that
she wants to hold Elaine in contempt.
Right. Let's hold Elaine in contempt. She is contemptible, but you know who's really...
I gave it to them all. They have it, and they're hiding it from you.
Exactly. You know who's the worst, the person who's the most contemptible in this case, aside from Amber Heard, was Rottenborn. I cannot stand an emotional manipulation plea. Drives me insane. That is the hallmark of a weak case. If you have to plead if you have to appeal to people's emotions, then you've not done your job. Your case is trash. Ridiculous. She had to, this is what I think. Whoever she gave it to is a person who was
there.
Well, no, I'm thinking about how I want to word this. Likely signed something where they cannot reveal that they're the person who was sent to. So an agent a publicist would be perfect, because publicists sign contracts with their with people like Amber Heard, and they sign NDAs, and they are not allowed to talk about the goings on in the behind the scenes. You know who else is also not allowed to talk about stuff like that? Attorneys. Attorney-client privilege. The only time the attorney-client privilege goes away, well, there's other cases, but the one that for sure will get you out of attorney-client privilege is death. So if you are an attorney and your client is dead, then you're not violating attorney-client privilege if you talk. But somebody signed something and probably received what they think of as a large amount of money to do what they did. But if it were Amber directly, there would be a paper trail back to Amber through TMZ, and there isn't. It came from somewhere, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter who was the intermediary. At the end of the day, she's the one who had the video. She made the video. The video was on her phone, period. And the fact that it was edited, right? It doesn't make sense for it to be from Johnny Depp's team. If it were from Johnny Depp's team, why the fuck would it be edited? Why would it edit out the part at the beginning where Amber Heard is setting up the phone? If it came from Johnny's side, that would be to his benefit to leave that in there. It would also be to his benefit to leave the ending in there where she snickers in response to his question. That's what she's laughing at. They did talk about the laugh, but I have to be fair here. Johnny Depp says something to her, and she laughs in response to whatever it was he said. That's what the laugh is about. But why would if it came from Johnny Depp's team, why would they edit that part out? Why would they edit the beginning part of it out? The only person who looks bad by setting it up is the camera, not setting up the scene, but setting up the camera. And you know that she did it in a sneaky way, because there's the
she holds her little coffee cup right in front of it, like she's trying to hide it.
Well, that's the thing, that Johnny Depp goes to pour that wine, and she is worried that he's going to see the camera. So she puts her mug or her insulated cup in front of the camera and then moves it, realizing, fuck, I gotta get this mega pint in here, right? So that and that movement is how he noticed that she was recording him in the first place. So Johnny's team would have, first of all, they would not be the person to release that because he's it's not a good look. It's not criminal what he's doing, but
Right.
I mean, he is having a bit of a temper tantrum for what I don't know, but it's not a good look for him. So it's not advantageous for it to have come from Johnny Depp's side. And the fact that it was edited and what was edited out of it, in my opinion, solidifies the fact that it had to have come from Amber Heard's side, because she's the only one that stands to lose anything if the whole thing was played unedited.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make her look good. So it is what it is.
You know what I heard? I don't know if I said this already. I don't think I did. About I heard like one of the lawyers like saying how it's just been real magic how Camille has been like, you know how she like never asked that final question, like if I'm trying to prove that you know only eat colored Skittles in one color at a time,
right?
And do you love Skittles, Jenlu? And yes. And do you ever eat them all at once? No. Did you have Skittles yesterday? Yes. And then I just let them, infer that you did not eat them all at once. I don't have to say and tell me, did you eat them all at once?
Yes.
And she's been leaving that last question for them to make that inference themselves without like trusting that they will and knowing that it's obvious. And then she moves on. And they were talking about how like the psychological play on that is that people will hold more tightly to any conclusion that they draw themselves than like lead a horse to water and have it drink. They'll just, that's not, that's too easy.
I think I was on Brittany J's panel and we were talking about defending yourself against allegations made on YouTube by like creator on creator beef, right?
Uh-huh.
And what I said was, well, the way I look at it is this: people are going to believe whatever they're going to believe. So if you get up there and you have an explanation for everything, the majority of people who are watching you and interacting with you in your chat are there because they are people that support you and believe you. So you're really preaching to the choir. And if the people, and there's no magic combination of words that's going to convince people who don't believe you to believe you. People change their mind based on actions. It's better to, just be the person you say you are rather than tell people. Right. And it also works with if you're trying to tell somebody about somebody else. I feel that people have to figure out things for themselves in their own way and in their own time. And it doesn't do any, people will not be convinced of somebody's, the way of your version of the way that somebody is, because you're constantly reminding everybody of all the things that this person negatively ever did. Right.
But I think
people
that
will figure it out.
Positive compliments like do matter a lot to like that kind of thing. Like your silence on whoever else will like speak more volumes.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is I don't think that people who go around who try to convince others of something, I don't think that actually works. I think people see whatever people need to come around to their conclusions on their own, which is why I like that Camille doesn't ask that final question.
I love it. I love that argument, like tactic.
It's a good tactic.
I'm gonna use that on my daughter and see if it starts working.
You should.
Did you love me yesterday?
Especially if she's a teenager.
Yeah. Was that my makeup when I bought it? Was that my makeup yesterday? Now what? Okay.
Why wouldn't it be is it going to be my makeup next week?
And is it in your purse right now? Okay.
What constitutes ownership? Did you purchase that makeup with your own money or money that I had given you? Did you go out and buy that for yourself? No, then it's mine.
I'm going to start letting her make her own inferences.
You should. People learn better that way, actually. And the thing is that when people you're 100% correct. When
I mean, like,
people come
honestly, like when you give them the credit that they're this intelligent enough to like draw the
figure it
conclusion
out,
themselves, yeah, rather than just like berating them and yes, definitely with teenagers, this is something that would probably work very well. Like,
well, yeah, and
I'm
people,
just entering this area. So.
and you're 100% right when you say that it is difficult to dissuade somebody from an opinion they've reached on their own.
Mhm.
Because usually when people reach their own conclusions, it's because they have looked into stuff, they have thought about it, they've weighed it out. It's better to let people reach their own conclusions.
And I mean, also, like, it's really like giving them, like the respect to know, like,
Correct.
I see
Like,
you are intelligent, and I
right,
don't have to talk to you like you're 5, and I
right.
respect you, and let's move on.
Exactly. Like, I don't have to tell you who is a bad person. You're
Mhm.
smart enough to figure it out on your own. I think that when people try to convince another person that a third party is a certain type of way, it's actually an insult to
Yeah,
their
well, like if somebody
intelligence,
talks
as
to me
if
like
you
I'm
won't
5,
figure it out yourself.
if somebody's going to talk to me like I'm 5, I'm not really going to like them. Like, you think I'm stupid, so I'm, this is
Right, which is
already a problem.
probably why Dr. Hughes had an issue, why Dr. Hughes is unlikable to the jury, because instead of saying the way that she's actually testifying to the same thing that Dr. Curry is testifying to, just on opposite sides.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dr. Curry, like,
she would
explains these big words, understands that they might be big words, but trust that.
Right. Well, what she does is she'll reference, well, when I testified before, or from my previous testimony, which is more palatable than as I've already told you.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, as I've already told you, it comes off as, weren't you paying the fuck attention the first time? Why do I have to reiterate this to you? Are you not smart enough to catch it the first go round?
Absolutely. What's the word for this? Like, when you is it demeaning? But like, I feel like that's.
Yeah, demeaning is the word.
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to say?
Like, yeah, like I giving a cold shoulder to your intelligence. Like, I don't know, like
It makes people feel defensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're insulting, like you're not smart. You have to have things explained to you multiple times because you're not smart enough to get it the first time.
I think that overall will really, that did not work in like the overall scope of things. They can weigh everybody's testimony, what they want to, and what they felt from them, and their gut instinct. That is really going to work against them.
Well, yeah, the fact that, and also anytime they were questioned on their testimony or how they reached their conclusions, the way that Amber Heard's expert witness team reacted was as if somebody were questioning their intelligence. They became extremely defensive, and that was the theme really throughout the entire trial, while on the polar opposite, because let's be honest, cross-examination is cross-examination, period, right? But under cross-examination with Johnny Depp's team, no matter how rude, including when Elaine told everybody they were after their 15 minutes of fame.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The jury is watching you treat people like that.
Right. But they're also watching the way the person handles it. And again, it doesn't matter what valid points Dr. Spiegel made. The jury is not, all they're going to remember is the way that how combative he was and how contentious it was. And it's going to be, that makes, if you can't you're a psychiatrist. You are supposed to be, you're trained to deal with humans and their various behaviors. So you should see the tactic of the manner in which you're being cross-examined for exactly what it is, and know how to handle it and not react in the way that you did. So therefore, how good of a psychiatrist can you be, and how credible is the testimony that you're giving?
Ooh, I'd hate to be somebody that talks so down to the jury.
Condescending.
Yeah, condescending. I would hate to be like that psychiatrist, that man, that I'd hate to be his patient. Like, I can just imagine sitting there and he's just like, ugh, like listening to your problems and just like, ugh. I mean, I know he's like a psychiatrist is there to judge you and help you, but like, ugh,
Yeah. I think he would be best in a teaching setting rather
Yeah.
than a treatment setting.
Yeah.
But I think I've been on here for like
You
almost
have.
4 hours. I think I'm going to get off of here, you guys.
You did a
And
whole shift today.
I did. I did a lot. I did a
Mhm.
lot. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for coming up, Christine. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
AJ, for coming up. And thank you, Teresa, for coming up. Thanks to the chat. Thanks for the super chats. And thanks to my mods.
Yes. Thanks, Tribe. Love you guys.
And remember, tomorrow night, we're over at True Psych Ward because Dr. B has new Cobain stuff. She premiered a little trailer kind of explaining what she's going into. Go check that out. And I will see you guys over there tomorrow night.
Okie. Good
All
night.
right. Good night, you guys.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye.